Basically flat. Welcome in. Couple hours left on a Monday afternoon that's turning into a back and forth kind of day after it started off so positively. We were up nicely right across the board, but a quick reversal there took us back into negative territory. In fact, now that is how it looks. The S&P 0.08, the Dow about 0.2 to the upside, the NASDAQ the same downside. So weakness in some of the tech stocks right now. Yeah, we'll discuss Boeing here, still going. Ton of volume behind this move as well for Boeing. Here in Toronto, 0.3 for the TSX. Brazil's higher on the day. Still a nice move for cryptocurrencies, although we have come off a little bit. Back below 24,000 for Bitcoin. Ethereum back below that 18 as well. There's the note, if you missed it, on Boeing from earlier. The FAA saying they are going to resume 787 deliveries within days. So a really nice move for Boeing. This is how the board looks. Otherwise, most of the negativity, as I mentioned, coming from the tech sector. Nvidia, top of the list. If you were with us in the pre-market, we told you why. Yeah, they came out with preliminary numbers, preliminary quarterly numbers that were way off from where they should have been. So big move down, 7.75% to the downside. AMD following suit. There's Micron, 1.2 to the downside. AMAT as well, almost 2.5% to the downside. But all these names up here, nicely offsetting, including the travel names, cruise lines, casinos, all back in positive territory once again today. The banks having a really nice day. Insurance companies, diversified financials, both back to the upside. I wanted to mention these ones up here as well. Look at Netflix, 5%. Meta right beside it, 3%. Paramount, 5% as well. Disney down here to come on Wednesday, I believe it is. Wednesday earnings for Disney. We'll talk about that. Tyson reported as well. But otherwise back to flat. So all of the tech group offsetting an otherwise pretty positive board. Hope your afternoon is going pretty well to kick off a pretty exciting day for a pretty exciting week. Let's go jump into what we were talking about in the pre-market here this morning. We'll review a few names that we were discussing, some opportunities that were available to you at the open this morning. How did you do? How can we improve? That is the goal going forward, especially for tomorrow. Sean's going to lead the way today with a look at one of his trades from this morning.
Thank you. Yeah, it's today's trade of the day brought to you by Day Trade the World. Scan that little QR code and get more information. Okay, so look, it's pretty simple here. We could have picked a lot of things. I mean, crazy morning. AMC was amazing. GameStop, we had those couple halts. We're just going to go with something that we looked at, but we don't look at it too often. Neil and I both like to trade Tesla whenever there's some key levels or something going on. So we're actually going to hit this and quit this, and it's going to be your trade of the day. It's a one trade in and out, and you're going to see it right here on the board. We actually have two fills right down here at $900. So we actually got the first one at about $900.50, and the other one I think about $900 flat. And all we were doing was looking at Tesla today. Why? Because we got that EV tax credit, right? We saw the legislation come through and various amounts, but it's an EV tax credit, so we knew right away that Tesla was going to be on everyone's mind. As you can see, we close on Tesla 850 or so there on Friday. We come in this morning, and the NASDAQ was also dancing around. We got some bad news from Nvidia, so we had to sort of watch the market. The market was up about 1%. Now, as you can see, fading down, now down 0.43. So we kind of ignore the futures a little bit when we're trading Tesla here. Why? Because it's a huge move off the open. Everybody getting so excited about that EV credit and just like, okay, let's trade some Tesla. So Tesla goes from 875 all the way up to 910. We don't trade that at all. If I was on this, that's another great break. I put this line right there. That's 900, right? So that 900 break was actually fine the first time it happened all the way through. It may have, and I didn't look at the tick replay. I don't know if it ticked back down to that level or not. But anyways, a nice move up to 910. So what did we do? As it comes back in here, it fades back in. And this is where I said to myself, let's try along here at 900 and give ourselves about $2 worth of room. So we actually picked down here sort of where this move started, this little wick. The bottom of that is 98. So I said, okay, let's try to take $2 or $3 worth of risk here on Tesla and bang this upside through 900. So it comes down and actually, we didn't hit it upside. It actually comes in, fills us down there, and this trade actually never goes against us. Within the first minute, it goes up $2, and our risk to reward, remember, was $2 on the downside. So I'm trying to do, and again, I know, it's tough to do it sometimes, but I try to get out of half for for a very similar risk to reward. So as we get out for $2 there, we're like, okay, that's great. Then those of you that are watching us live on the show, it kept bouncing off 05s. So the next part comes up. So we take 2 fills down here, regardless. Let's just pretend it's 1. These are each out a third of our shares. So we get the first third out when we get 1-to-1 risk to reward. So even though it's only $2 on Tesla, we take it out because that's our risk. Then it starts to go about around 05s, so we wind up taking about 04s. Are we tanking down here? Yeah, look at the market giving off right now. Tesla down to 881. Then the next part, this is where it gets a little scary because it actually comes back and back tests that 900 again. Now, when that happens, we're like, uh-oh, maybe we're gonna get stopped out here, but it doesn't. It doesn't even come, it doesn't come close to 98, let alone 100. It gets 900, it gets about $1 away. Then the move just explodes to the upside, and we're like, yes, we still have a third. This is perfect. And as it's running, it's $10 in the money. It's $15 in the money now. Remember, our risk is only $2, but we only have a third left. So I'm willing to let this thing ride. This is what I'm trying to do better on. So as it rips up to the upside, all we notice now is look at this, right? We did a little bit of work. You go back all the way to the past day. The high of that morning before we gave everything back was this 915 where we started to dance right at the open. So that was a key level. It tried to get back to 915 right here. These are 912s. Draw the line right over, and that's where we wind up getting out. So all I did was simply put a stop order. The minute we identified this 915, we said, okay, if it breaks it again, great. We can go to the upside, then maybe use that as our new support. But it never really breaks. It comes out, it tests, it wicks the top, and then just starts tanking down. So it gives me a couple minutes to make up my mind, and we take a $2 hit from that 915. So ultimately, it's a 900 long. That's a 912.50 out. You guys saw me trade that live on the show. This is $2. That's $4. So, you know, we do pretty good with the risk to reward. The important thing is you got to watch out for the NASDAQ as that's moving. And then you got to trade names, and we talk about this all the time. You got to trade names that are in the news, whether or not it's going to be AMD or Nvidia or Tesla off that EV credit. So maybe only trade this once this week, but there's the trade. It's the trade that I made, and it's going to be 1 for 1, and it's your trade of the day.
And a good one at that. What a move from a lot of those EV names. I noticed even Ford and GM catching a bit initially on that, but came all the way back after the move kind of subsided with the overall market, the market back to the downside, most of which was on that email this morning. Make sure you grab that every single day for free. Use the QR code. Bottom end of the screen, guys. All you need is your email address. I was just looking at that SOS, one of those little low float stocks just fell off a cliff. So heads up on SOS if you're watching it. Here's a note on some of the EV names that we were just discussing there. The tax credits coming through in the form of it's not inflation bill, I guess we can call it. That was passed by the lawmakers in Washington. Going into this week, we saw a lot of them up. Lucid, Fisker, Rivian with a bid this morning. Tesla, obviously, leading the way as far as that is concerned. Boeing still trying here, however, with decent volume behind it. Again, if you missed it or if you're just joining us, the FAA saying 787 Dreamliner deliveries to resume, quote unquote, within days, guys, for Boeing.
Actually, yeah, I want to start with Boeing because it's bouncing off the pre-market, not the pre-market, sorry. The morning high. Welcome. It's the afternoon. It's been a busy one, but 169 was around that top that we had this morning. The news comes out when it was down, and we just broke out the 169. I just took the break of the even and then the 70 break, and I'm looking right back here at this 169, which, by the way, look at that on the daily. We've been talking about this. Boeing also, if it closes above this 169, or better yet, above 170, that's a big breakout on the daily time frame. So I like this. I'd love to see us hold this level around 169 to this 168 half or so, and then see if we can't get back up to the highs. But if you're watching just now when Sean's doing the trade of the day, the market was tanking as it was trying to make that bottom. And Ford, by the way, just going to throw this one out there, Ford was breaking the high of the day as the market was testing the low. So you want to talk about relative strength, it's right here. And here's $16 as well on Ford. Yeah. Not a ton of size on the offer. I was kind of expecting to see, it's done 50 million shares. I thought I'd see some size up there, but this is another one to watch, hopefully this afternoon. Very, very strong trend here for some of the EV names. Ford top in the list.
All right. All right. So yeah, stay tuned. We are having. I mean, I guess we could say this. Stephanie's going to be part of the afternoon show, so she's going to be coming through very, very soon with an update on the future. So stay tuned for that, and then more and more later as we work her in to the show. So congratulations, Stephanie, and we learned about last week all about that. So glad to have her on board again. Yeah, talk about as something was tanking there. What are we doing the rundown, or we're just sort of going off here now? Okay, what's first then, Brendan? Let's go back over to Brendan because I feel like I'm going to talk about one of these things coming up next. So let's start with the board.
Yeah, let's go to Palantir to kick things off. The biggest one that we were discussing in the pre-market here after earnings. They cut their not only current quarter guidance, but also their full year guidance. So a little bit of uncertainty after, which was kind of interesting. We were discussing this before we came on this morning. Remember, they started hiring or announced they were going to hire more last week after so many other companies were cutting jobs. So they start hiring more people and then miss on their earnings, guys.
Okay.
That's a weird one, right? Like,
well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, I don't want to sit here and try to, justify, continuous losses by a company or anything like that. I mean, you have to sort of understand what a lot of these companies are going through right now. Some of these recent IPOs, although Palantir is like a 20-year-old business, I am surprised, like after that long, that they're still unable to make money. It's pretty disgraceful, actually. But hey, to each their own. As an investor, we just hope to make a little bit of money. But as a day trade, Palantir was actually quite good today. So we had a plan of action, and then what that plan of action was. Let me see if I can zoom this out a little bit more and then zoom it in for you. It's not gonna work out too well here. But so our short initially was 990, right? We were able to get most of that out as the market came in before we actually opened up. Then the market opened up, and Palantir only has, it's actually a pretty small float, short float. It's like 6 to 7%. So it's not like it's highly shorted, but it does take out that 10 and we get away from there. So now all of a sudden we are basically flat. We take a little bit of profit here because that's a 990, and then our best outs are like right at this bottom of the day here. Once we didn't break this bottom of 960, which is the pre-market bottom, at that point, it was like, no, I didn't want to go short again. So we got out. Then we just waited for this to happen. And this is a long. I put on the biggest position for me all day in Palantir, right at this bottom. And that happens at 940. A little bit of luck, yes. But I just felt like if the market didn't, I'm going to take that back. I don't think this is that lucky. Like as the market came in here and didn't fill this 960, I just wasn't as bearish on Palantir anymore. Now I'm going to put the chart extended and you still have a bad day for it. But this long was great. I mean, we got that 970 long and then we just started getting out at the same positions, 90s. So we're taking 20 cents and then it rips up and then we just do the same thing as normal. And I'll try to zoom in a little bit more now so you can see. There's that bottom fill and then there's the rip up. We start taking some out. 9, 9, 10s, 10 out, 10, 10 there, right there. Neil had a good trade because he was out earlier on that initial move at the high side. I wasn't. So then we take it out. We get that's a 10, or sorry, that's a 10, 10. And then right up there, we were just sitting at the high of the day and we wound up getting ticked out. So sometimes I consider this is kind of a lucky fill, but then it comes right back again and gives that fill one more time, right? So then Palantir just kind of doing what it wants to do. And now we'll look at it as a more, as the day goes on here. And now you're just cruising. I still am in this. It's still at 30 cents in the money. I only have that 10% left, but Palantir made that high of 1040. We're off the show. I actually wasn't here. That would have been a great out for Palantir, but it's a good day for them. It's down 12.5%. I'm only saying it's a good day because it hasn't tanked. Like there are many opportunities where we've seen Meta, we've seen a few companies that have missed, that have absolutely gotten slaughtered after open. This happened on the release today, so bad earnings, down 12.5%, but kind of okay because it's holding up. So that was my trade there on Palantir. I don't feel like, there's no PE to worry about because there's no E, but at some point they said 2025, they should be profitable. I'll worry about that when it actually comes through, Neil. But for Palantir today, I like it, and I'm looking for a similar trade tomorrow in Upstart.
If the only difference for me is you had 70s. I didn't go long until it was 10. Like I think I've been long twice, and it's always been the $10 level. So it was short below it and long in front of it, and now we're retesting it. I'm just going to trail my stop at 990. But a really great point. The ancient one in the chat just now just said, well, how long did it take Amazon to turn a profit? It's a good point. Sometimes it's about the long game. To be sure, so it's not about writing companies off. Like people still believe in Uber, and all they've done They took forever to come public, and all they've done is lose a ton of money since. But a lot of people still believe in that model. And hey, obviously they still have a lot of chance for success. They just want cash flow positive. So in the longer time frame, clearly there's still, you have to have a different perspective than the day trade. But it's been a little bit of a nothing burger, I want to say. So unless we break 990. I'll be in the long and hopefully looking to get another press back into that 10, hopefully 10 quarter. Forget about 1040. I'm not even sure we have enough juice to see that there today. But yeah, it was. I thought it would be a heck of a lot more exciting than it was. But truthfully, some of those bottoms into 1040, that's a good solid return, right? If you got the absolute low, it did move 5%. Even if you got just 10s, that's not a bad little run for a stock doing 100 million.
Yep. Oh, I didn't know if he was busy.
Just discussing things with Miss Stephanie, who's going to come on here. Let's talk about AMC, guys. We were higher in the pre-market, continued higher after the market opened. We had the APE announcement last week off of earnings, the APE. Double-checked, it's the close of the 19th, and then the Monday, which is the 22nd, will be trade day number 1 for APE if you're an AMC holder.
All right. Let me just hit the ape thing. I know you're probably tired of my voice, but let me just do this quickly, and then Neil will take it over. But there we go. We'll hit the apes there. And again, we always talk about preparation, and I just think that that's the number one thing, and it's the reason why, we're all tweeting in the pre-market. We all have our ideas. We have the watch list, which is going to be entering bigger and better things coming up very, very soon, so we're proud of that as well. But, here's AMC. We talked about 25, and I said 25 break leads to 30. Well, it got to 28, so we got, or 27.50. It got pretty close. But we wanted this 22 support from Friday, so we were only looking long. There's no way we were going to look short today. Momentum is so important in these markets, right? So that's all that we did. We just waited. And I remember talking about it on the pre-market show where we were saying, this 22 from Friday, that's where the bottom was there. I was thinking in the pre-market, if we got some dips down, now I'm not talking about this is 8 o'clock. I mean, that would have been a great dip buy. But remember, we did have that Nvidia scare come through. So AMC gave a lot of traders an opportunity to get long down near 22. Wasn't me, should have. So then we decided to switch it up and say, you know what, forget about it. The break we really want might be 23. We weren't getting an opportunity to do that. So then we had to take 24. So when 24 broke, it was basically off to the races. It gave us a couple outs, and then it dipped back down in. Now this is where, I'm not going to say weekends, it's just a matter of how you're going to trade it, right? And it's like you could have gotten out on this 24 flush back in. There'd be nothing wrong with that because I would have imagined that we would have came back in to 23.15 or so. However, my plan of action on this was going to see what happened around that $23 mark because we also wanted to see 22, right? So as it came back in, we reloaded it, and then the rest is history, man. It took off. We have another take here. That's a 25 break. So I don't know if you can see if I zoom in even more here. I have another long there. So out, 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 out. So all these are 24s. These outs are 25s up there. Then we break the 25. That goes to the upside again. So then we're getting out 25.72, 25. I mean, we had no choice but to take profit. It was like offer, enter. Like hit your order, push enter, and you're making a profit if you're long. It was that simple. The 26 break was pretty good, but that's not the break, that's a halt. So it actually halts here, and that's where we get longer. So this halt trade is one where you're kind of dancing with the devil because you got to watch GME. I believe, Neil, it was halted at the same time or close enough to it. And then so there's the halt. So you see missing data down here on the volume. It opens up, I guess it was 5 minutes. That would make sense. Opens up in 5 minutes. Kind of dips back down again where we get a little bit nervous getting it out at 26. Then it does its one last rip for the day, comes back in, and then I'm almost done. And we tried again at 25 to dance with it a little bit. Get a couple ins, a couple outs, and it broke back down below 24.75, and we got out. And since then, it's basically been the low there, down there at that 24.75. So it's bouncing off. I think we got a good little base now in the afternoon. But AMC today, I mean, I paid for shorts, but I wasn't going to go short this name. So now we have to wait to see what AMC gives us here in the afternoon.
I'd have gone short if it went to 30. I think that's sort of the thing. Like when the pre-market, look, the 24 trade was there. I feel like for most people, If you're not buying that dip and sort of getting in early at that 24, it was simply about you had a pre-market high of 25. You saw the run that happened yesterday, 22.5 was that high. So the 25 break was probably what you wanted to work into. But there were lots of other trades. I think the one chance to reload, I didn't really like, when it pulled back below 25, I was waiting around for 24, even something better, and didn't get back in until 25 and then tried the 26 level. I've been sticking to these even dollar levels, and I feel like if you do, it's just been an easier trade to not always diddle in the middle, but wait for a good setup on one of those even levels. To that point, we could see a 26 if it gets strong again. Right now, you're diddling at that 25 even. I'm going to stay away from it. But watch it. Like the market is heading back toward these lows. It might not matter for some of the meme stocks, but Boeing there just took out that pre-market or that, I keep saying pre-market because it feels like it's a second day here in Boeing since the news. But it just took out that opening range top there from about 1045. So, third time not a charm here for Boeing. I'll let it try to consolidate off of VWAP. This market looking like it's giving up a little bit. And just to, if we're going to talk about AMC, just quickly, as Sean mentioned, GameStop was also going, and that $40 level, you didn't really have too much of a shot at that level. It actually was holding above well before that in the pre-market. Got up to 48, and you'll see it, like the harsh reversal, and it's been doing a heck of a lot of, I don't want to say nothing, but showing some signs of weakness ever since. But if we get through 26 on AMC, you better believe GameStop is likely to give you a potential long break through 44, if not 45.
You better believe.
I was going to show you this first. I'll talk about EXPR here in a second, but here's Bitcoin. So this is 24,000 was support early on. We broke below. We're trying to hold. Still up nicely, obviously, on the day. EXPR, if you remember, Express Incorporated, way back when, maybe if I zoom out on this, you can see, was also a squeeze stock. My chart's probably not going to load, but trust me when I say, was also a squeeze stock going back to the beginning of last year. EXPR just starting to go here, some volume coming in once again for that. So we were talking about, my point, we were talking about Coinbase in the pre-market after a crazy move last week. We had Bitcoin on the rally as well. A decent move so far today for Coin, guys.
I had full intentions on trading Coinbase a little bit more than I ended up doing. And it was one of the first trades I put on. Like it broke 101 at like 8 a.m., clean move into 102. And then you had this at 9 o'clock, it flushed in. Now, obviously, this is the thing. Like everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. And this morning, like the punch in the face was Nvidia. And it kind of shifted, like when the Nvidia, I guess, guidance came out and they revised some of their earnings expectations and revenue projections. That moved a lot of things to the downside. Changed some of the levels I wanted to get in. Didn't really move anything for the small cap names and the squeeze names. But Coinbase got away from the prices I wanted to trade off. Like I was looking for that 100 level and lasered in. Next thing I know, we're staring at 97 at the open, and I threw it away. That said, 100 break after 9:30 was pretty solid. It pushed to the highs. But forget about what's going on in the other squeeze names. Like this gave it up, got back below 100, and has actually been trending down and a heck of a lot weaker than what I've seen in some of the other squeeze names or high short float names. It's getting going one more time here with the market showing weakness. But Coinbase, and we talked about this in the morning show, it's just since that move on Thursday, it's like, look what's happening every time it tries to get going. It's just a little bit weaker each time. Now we're still up. If you look at it in any measure, you go back to the close on Friday and it ends up closing higher. On Thursday, it ends up closing higher on Friday. And today, it would still, if it closed here, would still end up 3 consecutive higher closes. But the way in which it's responded to the big parabolic up moves is vastly different, right? So yes, overall, it's been closing higher in a good stock if you just bought it and held it for 3 days. But the buyers intraday are starting to get a lot weaker on Coinbase. At some point, it might turn into a bit of a short if we don't hold that 100 level. I don't have any trades on it, unfortunately, there. I will go to one thing because I put this on, and we like to try to at least talk about some of our trades here too. When the market made that low, as Sean was doing the trade of the day, Roku, which I shorted like 3 times, had one decent long, but like 3 shorts, and none of them were very good. I'm back into the short here because it reclaimed 84 to the downside when the market made lows, broke VWAP, broke support. I haven't taken anything out. I'm going to adjust that because if we get back down to this 83.30 or so, then I should try to take at least some profit inside of this range here and then see if it can't break down because the market looking weak. You got to have some shorts on if we're going to continue to press these lows.
Of course, Brad messages me, and then as soon as I just see it, you're finished.
Well,
Okay,
obviously.
obviously that's just the way it works. Okay, I'll just, I don't get to talk too much about Coinbase. Neil just hit it out of the park. The only thing I didn't really hear him mention was just the short flow percentage, which is about 20. So that, to me, that's high. I didn't realize it. Yahoo Finance has 21, FinViz 19, 19, 21, 22. So as you go there, just to look at Coinbase, and then the action that it had last week was ridiculous when it went to that 112 or 115. So the only thing to remember about Coinbase is it has the ability to just get going. So I'm keeping that in here, which hopefully it stays in there. I don't know, things don't stay too long. But I want to remember that if there's any kind of a story on the positive side for Coinbase, whether or not they get some sort of, they hear back from the feds about lending or some of their programs that they're trying to institute, things like that, then we do want to go long Coinbase. It's a huge runner. And then just as we get set up, like we said, we're going to have futures with Steph in a second. But right there, 140 off Amazon. Like Neil mentioned, when I was doing the trade of the day, we went down to that very bottom there of 138.80. We just went to 138.60. So for me here on Amazon, we're just a one trade killer rate here, short at 140. And again, we had to take it against us a little bit. We wanted that short back in, and it's too bad I didn't get more shares. I actually wanted to test this 140 flat. My position's 139.85, so should have had a bit more there, but we actually wanted to try it up here, 140.50, but never broke. So okay, there goes Amazon coming back down. We talk about relative strength versus weakness, and that's where it's at. Amazon down 1.5, the market only down 0.62 right here. So I feel like we got this. And by the way, it's also I shouldn't say Bang City, Tank City down there to the downside, because we really flipped up our game here on Apple. It was a big winner for me early. We talked about that off the long. But then the minute this started to go, and we were like, okay, we're under VWAP, we're under the 50 period, we started shorting. So these are all shorts, and they're big ones for us. So most of our outs here were 166. We'll be able to hold a little bit down here for 165. And now we're $2.30 in the money on an Apple short, which is coming in again. So yeah, the market here this afternoon looks like it's going to hang around the lows. And I feel like, I know you're short too. So yeah, short Nvidia, we can't get better
What's
names.
weird is like Nvidia's not on the rundown when it started everything.
Yeah, Nvidia was like one of the bigger ones. But anyways, I was going to say, I think we've got like 3 or 4 of the big shorts here that we want. Apple, Amazon, Nvidia, Roku. So Neil and I both thinking short here in the afternoon. But remember, we have our outs, and so be patient with everything. Let's go back over there to Brendo.
Quickly, guys, on oil, just trying to push the day highs with a couple minutes left on the pit session. Anyways, now up 1.7 for crude oil. So I saw a bunch of these oil stocks just passing by on a volume scanner there. So Oxy back to day highs, 60.5. So a lot of strength, even with the market back at basically session lows right now. At 2:30. Speaking of, let's get a check on the futures. Steph is here to let us know what we should be watching.
Hi guys, happy Monday. So I'm here midday to talk about ES futures. So let's throw it to my chart. Keep in mind this is a 30-minute chart here that I am looking at. So pre-market, that level of 41.70 that I was talking to you guys about on Friday to be aware of, that if we had bullish momentum, we could easily test. So we did, and we went a little bit above it, didn't quite reach that 4,200 level. That 41.50 level, which has been a key level from last week, was in play this week. So as you can see, I did have marked off 41.65 and 41.60. We broke through that support level. 41.50 we were unable to hold. I did have a level that I was looking at around 41.30, specifically 41.32 for a potential bounce long play. As you can see, it is the afternoon and we're continuing to push to the downside. So if we really want to continue this trend and keep running to the downside, 41.10 is that level, which again, we bounced from last week. So let's see if we're going to repeat that again today. That's all from me, guys. Back to you.
Great stuff. Little one, just moving here. Hscs, which is a medical equipment maker. This one up 60%. Heavy volume behind this as well. I'll show you the note that came in this morning. This was in the pre-market. Benchmark initiating coverage. There was a couple of new products launched over the past couple of weeks from this company, but Benchmark with an initiation on this one. But another low float stock, guys. Hscs starting to go.
Oh, there's always another one there. Stephanie doesn't know what's going to be coming for her, because like a lot of times in the middle of the day, if I'm in like a in a position in like a big tech stock or in the futures are at a key level or what I think is a key level, sometimes I'll message Rude and be like, hey man, like, you know, looks like we're coming into resistance. Like, what are your thoughts here? Just to get another idea. So Stephanie might be getting a little bit of that as well. Because when you're trading anything that is likely to follow the market, like let's say we're both short, outside of Palantir and Hellbiz, which we'll get to, we're basically looking for shorts in some of the tech names here. So when you're looking at the NASDAQ and the ES, like I'm concerned about, are we bouncing off a support area? And we haven't been able, like Nvidia here hasn't been able to get through this 174. If we can come to my chart for a second. Nvidia hasn't been able to get through this 174 to the downside. I got to get rid of these wicks by doing that. So it's been bouncing, tries to flush through, we're making these lows, gets back up, retests this 175. I got the short off 76, but if we keep holding support on the futures, well, then maybe this isn't going to work. I get it, Nvidia has been one of the loss leaders today, but overall, if the market holds key levels, then you want to start taking some of that profit and playing inside of the range to the best of your ability. That's why, whether you trade them or not, futures levels matter, and that's why we try to bring them to you every single day. I think we're going to get to some squeeze stocks. I'm not going to jump ahead yet to Hellbiz, which I just found out from you guys. Hellbiz.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the board. You can.
Hellbiz is an Italian company. I won't lie. I did
Raising hell.
I did not know
Paisans.
that. I did not know that.
Yeah,
so does that mean we like the long better, worse?
It means if you
in the
short it,
middle?
you swim with the fish, is what it means.
I think I
So,
paid for shorts on Hellbiz.
Yeah.
It's a squeeze stock. We'll get to this. And I'll tell you this right now. Like, and I said this in the midday show. To the extent that you can keep things absurdly simple, we should always do that. So with AMC, like look how less complicated it's been.
Yes.
Just looking at those even dollar levels, breakouts, whatever. But Hellbiz, $1.
Calm down.
What's you got a Fahad? It's a squeeze stock.
You know,
It's on the rundown,
Let me
bro.
just review what Fahad said
What
to
did
you,
he say?
just so you know, because people are seeing what I'm saying, right? He's like, please tell Neil to talk about Hellbiz.
Did he just say that? And like, what's the,
But he's literally talking
I'm
about
literally-
it.
I said Hellbiz like, and the chart's even up right now. You can see, even if you don't show it, you can
This guy's
see on the
invading
program.
our show. I like it.
Oh, best part, you guys didn't know this
I don't
too,
want
eh?
him to stop. That's why I brought it up.
So Fahad, like this guy, like he's pretty serious, man. We're talking about like,
do you know about his bowling?
no, he was trash talking about how much he could leg press
Oh,
to
God, here
Lucas.
we
Like that
go.
was the conversation.
He could definitely leg press Lucas.
And he was throwing down some numbers. And all I simply said about leg press was, yo, like if you can't do a proper squat, you could leg press 1,500 pounds. As far as I'm concerned, you're wasting your time. Because if you can't actually squat properly and have proper form, you're probably hurting yourself. Anyways, it doesn't matter. And he listened to it, and he's going to do some good advice on building up his squat game. Because you put a challenge to Fahad, and the thing about it is like, yo, I'm going to be able to do that. Like I showed him this video. He's like, yo, I'm going to be able to do that video, which is pretty cool because it'll be a challenge for him. It'll be bring Sally up for air squats, and he's going to be able to do that in a month. Anyways, back to Hellbiz. The long this morning, we're talking about that dollar level. Any penny stock that wants to gap up day two and show me a dollar break and show me support at $1, we're going long in front of $1 till it breaks. And then look how clean this is. It's $1 to 120, then it's a 125 long to 150. Then what do you think it is next? It's a 150 long for now to 175. To the extent that you can keep it simple, stupid. That's what I like to. Sometimes it's just that. Not that easy, but it's easy to be able to get into simple trades in a trend when it does this for you. The only mistake that got made is in the middle of the day when we're kind of busy doing other things, and that's not an excuse, it's just the truth. I could have been reloading this at 125. Instead, I had the one fill at 125. I never got more. I didn't get back in until I sit back down after eating lunch, and it's a 150 break. That's our next entry. So I got 51s here. It was the only 3 trades. I had twice $1, but there were probably 3 chances for you to get this 125, and not that complicated. I think it went the most against you was about 3 pennies at 11.50. That's all you had to do. Lots of squeeze names today. There's been opportunity abound in all of them. It's just picking your poison because you couldn't really have had all of them, but you certainly could have had a few.
All right. Anything else you want me to tell Neil to trade there, Fahad? This guy's killing me. Yeah, look, I have faith in my man. So whatever he says he's going to, squat or press or whatever, he's going to do it with the best form. and probably create some YouTube videos. So I got faith in my man.
You got to be able to do one. Like if you can't do a single air squat with proper technique,
yeah.
Why are you trying to leg press 1,000 pounds? Seriously.
Don't worry what he's trying to do.
What's the point?
look, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Okay, so look, squeeze stocks. I don't have too many today. I mean, the only one that I would say, and it was a banger, and it's one of my top stocks of the day, of course, here is going to be Beyond Meat. I mean, again, this is another name that we had there on our sticky note. It's right here. It's $40 break. I don't know what else I could possibly have done except for go long on a $40 break. So that's exactly what we were looking at right there, Beyond Meat. It was an absolute monster. Whatever. I'm leg pressing the market here. Like, that's just straight to the upside. That's 10%. Our best out is 44 clean. Our next out is 43.50. We have a 42 right there and a couple 41s. So in and out, pretty proud of this trade right there as we reload it into our Google short, which now I got to get in, address because this has been a disaster sometimes, Google. But there it is on a quick little reload. We'll take something out there. Just went up to 14. Let's see if this can tank City, and we'll see if it can come back in. So we'll see if we get a little bit of revenge here on Google to the downside. Yes, let's go, baby. Give me those 17s right now. So that Beyond Meat to me was pretty easy. Let me just go back to it as now I have a little bit more manageable here on Google. All right, so if you just look at this daily chart, there's the $40 clean break. I mean, we came up to it the other day. You had earnings on Thursday or Friday. I think it was Friday. We talked about that break. And then we knew it had the chance to go because of what happened on Friday. So if I go back here, this is Friday morning right here. Look what happened right away on Friday morning. Almost a mirror image of what happens today. So this goes from 30, I mean, it's much more of a percentage move up. It's 20%. So this goes from 30 to 36 and stops in a straight line. Fast forward to today. I mean, almost, it's the same trade. So same trade breaking upside. Remember, this short interest is over 40% on this name. So that's why it's my squeeze stock of the day.
Still watching this Hscs. Speaking of, there was more volume that came in there, 72% now for that one. So the list continues to grow. Here's the list of, speaking of lists, clean energy stocks we were talking about in the pre-market. All of these, all the solar names, all the chip-related solar names. There's FCell, there's Plug, there's this Bloom Energy, CLNE as well was another one, OPT. I mean, it goes on and on and on. But all getting a bit of a bump in the pre-market, to say the least, after this bill gets passed, with a ton, or potentially anyways, a ton of funding in it for these stocks.
True. I think part of the issue with why I think most of these, or a lot of them, didn't have as big a follow-through as you would like is just what they've already done. So a couple weeks ago, I think it was, Sunrun and a few of the other ones just had these monster moves here. On the 15, I'm going to show my 15 minutes so I don't have to go away to another chart. But this broke 25 and ran to essentially a high of 33 within a couple of days. And so it's trying to take out a 35. That's $10 from where this started a couple of weeks ago. So that break, it did get to 37. I will tell you right now that I did not have it when it mattered. Because of this one little wick here. I got trailed out of, I got stopped out on a bad stop on Sunrun at about 9:09. It's early enough in the pre-market. You only have so many level 2s up. And then it goes, and I'm like, okay, I'll just wait for the open and try and get back in at 35 on the break. Just not a lot of volume pre-market, and that's one of the reasons why having to stop there sucks. But never got in. I tried the break, did not get the fill at 9:30. It ran to 37. Tried the reload on this. It was good for a couple of scalp trades, and it just retook 35, and it's been trending down ever since. So I feel like this was, outside of that first initial pop, it was really more of a sell the news kind of thing for these names. Because once they made the high, it's not like there was any buy support on these stocks. I mean, one attempt to get back to that high, and it's been a short ever since. So unfortunately, up 4%, it's still pretty good, and it doesn't mean bad things for the long term. But if you look at how things reacted here, I would say that a name like, and I'm just talking the clean energy relative to like something like a Ford here, the reaction of Ford for some of the EVs, just a lot stronger when it comes to that EV subsidy that came through. So certainly a much different trend. Broke out, like Ford breaks out at the same time at 9:30, holds the highs all lunchtime, breaks out late in the afternoon, and you're still above VWAP. Very different charts if you look at some of those clean energy names.
All right, we've already talked a little bit about the play that I had there on Tesla. I mean, I'm pretty pretty happy with it. Obviously, you can see where the market's gone right now, as the market is now trying to go back down to lows. So we cash out one more time, we'll go bang for our trade. I'm holding this Palantir trade, but it's 5% of what I normally had. So I'm going to hold on to that one, as we have 3 shorts. I talked about those shorts that we really liked early. I liked Neil's, mine, and these ones. So let's wait to see if this comes through. But look at Tesla. This is the name that maybe should be shorted right now. It is, I mean, I don't know if, oh, let me take that back, was something that we should have shorted into this move, because I'm surprised at how fast this is accelerating to the downside right now. Now down to 870. It's almost, oh, well, what the hell? I mean, I just saw, heck. Right now, 1 minute ago, Elon Musk says growing at 50% a year requires an insane amount of work, but it's achievable with outstanding execution at Tesla. So, okay, I don't know.
Like a boss.
To me, that sounds okay, but I guess he's just talking about execution, and I guess, like Bret Hart says, the excellence of execution. Tesla has been that. They've been, I mean, producing cars at amazing rates. You get that EV tax credit, and the point about it was, I was just trying to say, I mean, I don't want to review the trade too much. We went long at 900. It's a key level. Would have been an awesome short as well. But Tesla, you know, the fact that they're selling about, what is it, 12 to 1,500 cars a day. They did, 390,000 cars last year. So when you're looking at a Lucid that's, you know, in the thousands of cars, Rivian, I mean, a lot of these companies aren't producing at the same rate, right?
Wasn't it
so
the hundreds for Lucid?
Yeah, hundreds. Well, he made that joke about he has more kids than Lucid does cars. But
It's a lot of kids.
yeah, it's a lot of kids. I don't know. That's not, to me, that's not really that funny of a joke, but it was funny when he said it because it's Elon Musk. But
Like that's probably like Wilt Chamberlain level, realistically. Like,
I mean, I don't know. I mean, how many Wilt Chamberlain did Wilt Chamberlain even have? I think it was like unknown.
okay, so all I will say to the Wilt Chamberlain thing is in the book, the whole
book
thing about
yeah,
him, if you
we
don't know who
the
Wilt
book.
Chamberlain is in his book, it was like 20,000 partners. So it's
Right,
like,
but I don't think there was the kids.
he didn't say how many kids he had. But I'm like at 20,000, like it's not zero.
There are some
I mean, let's-
mistakes. There are some mistakes.
You know, like, and also he's like 7'1", jumps out of the gym and like bench presses. So I mean,
Never heard of him.
There's probably a few people in the NBA that, let's be real, probably Wilt. Your daddy.
All right.
Anyway, but
no, let's not.
I
Maybe.
shouldn't say
no,
that.
it's possible. I mean, he
But
does.
come on.
Now I have to think about who he looks like now.
Oh, but by the way, this is for Fahad because Fahad, Fahad was talking about ATR this morning, if I'm not mistaken.
Pod talks about a lot of things.
He does talk about a lot of things, but it's up 10% and pointed out in the chat here, thank you very much for you guys in the chat, ATR just made a little bit of a pop. Not a huge volume spike, so I'll show you here. Like, not gigantic, you see it popping up, but yeah, getting off VWAP a little bit, probably worth it on our radar. They do report before tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. You guys tell me in the chat if that's actually true. They report this week, I think. But hey, your 50
Fahad
period
said
breakout.
aftermarket.
Aftermarket today.
From Fahad.
Okay, from Fahad. So then Fahad's right. Fahad
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah, well,
He's
CEO would
CEO
know.
of Veru.
CEO
He's
would
probably
know.
at least the COO of ATR.
Yeah.
There's room to go on this. I'd like to see it a little bit more volume right now. That would be better for a potential breakout. But hey, it's on the radar. Make sure you have it there. I'm also watching at Hscs that Brendan mentioned as it's trying to get through this on the daily. See that 380? Yeah, well, if you're, I don't know what, like if you're not interested, at least in that 380 level on the daily chart on Hscs, now that it's made a bit of a turn at that high, I was kind of looking for a break because I don't want to pay for the shorts, and for whatever reason, it's just longs have been pretty good on some of these things, especially with the small floats. But it did just reject that 380 level. You just pop up that daily chart, and I told you exactly where the top was likely to be, at least temporarily. But if it holds VWAP, let's go 380 break Hscs.
So I was looking for the name because it's the recent Raptor, right? Otto Porter Jr.
That's the guy.
So we have Wilt Chamberlain's.
I mean, let's be
kid
real
on
for
our
a second.
team. I mean, we literally
Like, come
have his kid on our team.
Come on, son. Like,
I
yeah,
mean, come on. 29 years old. I mean, it would add up. Yeah. So Otto Porter Jr., welcome to the Raptors. Hopefully, you're able to lift up to Larry O'Brien one more time north of the border. So, okay, AAL just got some kind of news there about Boeing. And again, it's just kind of like the same kind of old Boeing news as always here. Looks like their plane will get the okay to go and then hit the market and be able to go fly for a little bit. That's probably more important to Boeing, less so to AAL. But I just wanted to look at this name because AAL thought had a chance to go. Watch out for 1510 there, that level there. On American Airlines, yeah, AAL. So that's what I meant there. And hopefully that's going to be a level of concern. We'll see if it is or not. But AAL right there, 1508, as the travel sector has been kind of on fire recently. Obviously with gas prices coming back in, or sorry, oil prices, you know, hence fuel for the airlines. Plus, I don't know. I mean, there obviously a negative catalyst for these guys would be, you know, the monkeypox being declared like global emergency or whatever it was last week. But we're going to wait to see if this takes 1550. This looks almost as clean as, like, you know, any of these breaks that I really like on breakouts. So I think tomorrow, let's write it down. We'll watch out for the sticky note. Hopefully we can do that. We'll make some notes after the market. But I really like this 1550 break on AAL. I don't think we get it today. I'm not sure there's enough juice in this market yet for that, but that's a good break for AAL.
Oh, I forgot to fill my water before we came on here. At some point, I need to get rehydrated because it's muscle memory. It's like every little bit I have to take a bit of a sip there. But thank you again in the chat. I keep thanking you guys for bringing things up. We did talk about AMC, but I didn't really go over, and I just drew a line for it right now on my chart just so it'll be easier to see because it's a random level here. But look, since it failed 27, that breakout, this is 24.42. Love the number 42. And we just dipped down, have this nice little wick right in front of that support line. So if I'm looking for a trade that isn't simply hold level, break at 25, go long on break, scalp out, rinse and repeat, the other trade would be just going long in front of this. Below that 24.40, I think you really are waiting for that 23 that, I mean, we might have talked about it in the pre-market, some support, even lower than that 22 we like better, but that never came into play. So that 24.40, right now, that one line in the sand. I did ring the register a little bit on Roku, and the only reason I'm hitting that is because I damn sure couldn't do it on Roku Shorts at any point today. And I was completely and utterly unwilling to scalp profits on Roku this morning. I was short 84.5. I was taking more shares in front of 84.5. I wasn't taking anything out when it would break 84. I'd sit there and stare 50 to 60 cents in the face because I thought we were coming back into 82.50. The way I looked at it was I just simply looked at this daily chart and it's rejecting 85 and the market was reversing. Like, why are we not rejecting this and going lower? But you know, you have to accept the fact that sometimes it wants to be a range bound in that range. So I take some out this time, willing to scalp that 50-cent win. And if we flush down from here, fair, I'll hold for an 83 break and I'll rinse and repeat in front of 84. But we are forming at least a little bit of a consolidation at this bottom in the overall market. So you want to pay yourself out on some of these shorts. Like I said, Nvidia can't seem to go past that 174 level. AMD, which the way I've approached today, AMD's on the NASDAQ, I've traded it, I should know that. The way I've approached this today is I like the short on Nvidia and the long on AMD. You don't have to trade it that way. I could just be reversing AMD, trading either one off key levels. But it's been pretty simple to just sort of pick one for long entries. The market's turning or the market's showing like it wants to break out. And I've been long AMD when it's above 100. Below 100, I haven't really tried anything. Every time it breaks down, I just sort of take it out when it takes out that 100 level. We are south of that, so I'm not really looking for longs on AMD just yet. But if the market makes this low and we're back above 100 on AMD, then I'm going to go right back to that well. It's been pretty simple. It crosses the line, I stop trading it. Sorry, it crosses the line, I look for the long. It crosses the line downside, I stop going long. It gets back above, I re-engage the long, get out here. So we get back above 100. I do like longs on AMD. Nvidia is just that different story. And Nvidia is going to have to climb at least above 176 before I take the shorts out.
All right, just a quick little reload. So, okay. Right there at 117.40. So it was 38. So we had to take a quick little reload there on Google. You know, this was a pretty much of a, this is my only negative stock today. I mean, we were trying to push this long. This is the one name that we have written down on the sticky note that we really liked that 120 break, and unfortunately we took it, didn't work out for us, and yeah, the rest is history. We've been fighting this ever since, but then we were finally smart enough about it and flipped over to the short. And since then, that short right there at 119 has just been amazing all the way down. We haven't touched it since. We've just been shorting again now. But you know, that was a good short all the way down. Like that's a 119.20 off VWAP. And why did we do that? I noticed trading it that it had a hard time with this 119 area. So if we got an opportunity to short it and the market hence fell, so that's what we looked at there. So that was a good take because that's a 117.50 out. So that's like $1.80 right there, you know, and it's frustrating to me because, you know, we did have a bigger position up here, so that's why it's still going to be red for me on the day. And I don't have a problem, you know, like I said, that's the whole point of the show, is to be as honest as you can. And sometimes you're going to use too many shares at bad spots, or just something's not going to break out for you, and vice versa. So, you know, just like how it worked out on that 40 break on Beyond Meat, this one does not work out, which sucks because Google was hit there at 120 for me. But we definitely exacted a little bit of revenge here on the name as we were able to short this down. And we don't really have any losers since this take right there. So we tried it one more time at 119. The damage was pretty limited there and able to make some back on this short, but still a negative ticker for us here, or for me here today. What's up, Brendan?
One we didn't mention, guys, but had a bit of a move, to say the least, today was Global Foundries. This was about 218 this afternoon, GFS and QCOM. So QCOM committing to 7.4 billion through 2028 from GFS. So GFS, 10%, struggling with 59 though.
Well,
Up 10%.
yeah, I mean, well, considering that the market is hitting its lows and breaking lows, I would say that's a little bit harsh to say it's struggling with 59. It's obviously true. But when I go to the 15-minute, I go to last week's highs, I think it was last week, we had this 58 and a quarter, and it's managing to hold that. So if you look at the top end of the range and sort of ignore the wick and say 58 even is your line on the higher time frame, that was a breakout at noon. It's holding that support. I like relative strength and weakness in the afternoon, so you slip that into the other category. And like I've gone with AMD because it's a better correlation, or a better, I guess, it's a better relationship to go AMD Nvidia when Nvidia moves the market. I think Global Foundries has a heck of a lot more common, obviously with like your TSMs and your Samsungs and your Intels of the world there. But 58 looks like a pretty solid level to me. If we're taking out fresh lows, it makes it difficult to buy support levels on anything. But this is a good one. If we start getting any kind of a rounded bottom, longs on Global Foundries with a 58 out is not bad. I would caution, if you've never traded the GFS before, it doesn't always have the best spread. Like right now it's about 6 pennies, which is okay. But for a $50 stock, you don't see very many 1 cent spreads on GFS. On a 50 break, you're probably getting slipped at least 15 pennies, if not a little bit more than that. And that's just the way that it trades. So I'm accustomed to that. Like if you're going long in front of 58, you tack on an extra 5 to 10 cents from wherever you might put your stop, and understand that's going to be part of risking it on GFS. But I like the strength that we're seeing here in Global Foundries.
Yeah, I'm getting like this weird feeling again here about this stupid Google trade. Like it's not,
good or bad?
You know, look at the market. The market is starting to go down, and Google's like, yada, 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 I'm just going to chill out here. You know, meanwhile, Apple breaking lower, right? So this is starting to break. We have this trade on. This is $2.60 in the money. So that's a bang right there for you on that one. As this continues to make a move to the downside and making lower lows now. And then Amazon as well at the day's low. This one for me, like, I don't know, man. We'll go boom for this. Like, we need to get new graphics. I know that. But it's a nice move to the downside here for Amazon as well. As this is now, like, look what we have on it. $2.70 winner on Apple. $1.50 here on Amazon. Now starting to go, hopefully, Google. All right, you know what? I was waiting at 10, but I'll take a 13, bud, if I can get it. Okay, just regroup. Hopefully he'll come back and just fill up there. It goes, it hits the whole level there. So we did get some 13s out there, so that's going to be a good one for us on Google as this is finally starting to print. So as I was saying, $2.70 Apple, $1.50 Amazon, 40 cents, 30 cents now on Google, starting to come back in and take down. I'm going to take one more fill here, and then I'm going to think we're going to let this thing ride. If we can get a 1 set, did I just get that? No, I didn't. That was a 12. Okay. So if I get this 117.02 or whatever I'm bidding there, then that's going to be a good little trade because we've just reloaded it a couple times right here off this high. So come on, come back in. Just come back in one more time here. And then we'll see if we can get that fill. That hit 117.05. You know, that very bottom there while I was doing the trade of the day happens to, of course, have been let's call it 117, 116.90. But you do have this spot right here. This is why we're trying to get some out now. This could be the end of it for Google, especially if this market returns to its prominent self. So let's wait to see if this is going to be something that we're going to focus on. But I like this Google short right now, and it's just we should have got some out. So let's put a bid. I mean, we're right here right now. Let's just put a bid and just get out something at 08. And of course, as soon as we do that, it makes it level. People start to join us, and there it is. So we'll take it out. So now we are done. I'm pretty happy with this trade now. We only have 25% of the 50%, sorry, of the trade left. So we have 50% of the trade left. We've reloaded a couple times. So we have 50% left, and we've now taken much more than our 2-to-1 reward. We were trying to get this out at 17.50. If it got really spicy, maybe 18. But right now we're in the money, or we just were in the money, that 40 cents. So that's going to be a good trade for us. Let's just see what this Google trade. One more reload up here, and then an out if it breaks 50. Other than that, man, we're going to be cruising. We're not going to get caught up in chop, right? That's not what we're going to do. You can see the futures have been pretty choppy. Chop, 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 chop all through here. Even since 1 o'clock, it's been pretty choppy. It was a great move in. Then we started to make some bottoms, and now we're breaking. So I feel like, and I don't want to talk about your position, you're still in them, so good. So I still feel like these shorts are going to be something that we can probably hold. Anything could change, but my idea would be to see where we close today on the names that I'm short.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you can't ignore the fact the market's on the lows. The only thing I would say is the NASDAQ does have incoming in like 30 points or so Friday's low. Right. So like maybe we bounce off of Friday's low. As mentioned, this Hscs, which sometimes you make an accidental trade. You might have seen it pop in while Sean was talking. You should always just get out of it. I did put in like a 380 stop, and I'm sure what actually happened is I put a 380 stop, or thought I did, and put a 360. So I ended up going long essentially right away. It might have even been like a 58 or something. I just got out of it, but it is still trending towards that 380. I now have corrected that. If we take out the high here, I like the long. I've paid for shorts on this, because look, if it really starts to go and takes this level out, I'd look at something like a 5 and just sort of say that those round numbers are obvious. And if it gets to that price, I'd want to make sure I take some profit, or take one shot, take profit in front of it, and then look for a potential reversal. Relatively cheap in terms of the locates on this name, but this is one of the runners that I see here. And I know there was one from this morning. I see people talking about ILAG. So people talking about this sort of catching a bit of a bid. It feels a little bit like it could be done for today, and that's because the volume is just absolutely gone. It was a huge runner. I know Luca was all over trading this and made the big break at 7, and then the flush back into VWAP. You're back below that. So it's pretty much the last level is its pre-market breakout high, which was support. So 460, I think that's your last shot. For today at least. If it holds that level, maybe you get a bit of a VWAP retracement, which is a good risk to reward. But I need to see it at least test that 460 before I'm interested. And then the volume on top of that has to pick up. It's got to get going, man. It's absolutely asleep there. Hellbiz is slowing down a little bit, but the trend is still pretty strong. You can kind of see that. Like since it took out 150, it's been making higher highs. I'm holding out for $2 at this point. I actually don't have an offer up there. I'll do that now. Just get out in front of $2, because if it was a $1 level, then a 125 break, then a 150. If it goes to 2, I want to be out, and I want to look for a $2 break. And if it pulls back from that, I'd look for a 150 reentry. Keep it pretty clean there on the levels, because that's what happened to work out. And yeah, like obviously we'll talk about it a lot of different names here, but there is one that I'm not going to ignore, even if it doesn't feel like it's going crazy. That level, and I just drew the line. I don't know why it's gone here in AMC. That 2440 that I was looking for support, like literally a minute after I drew that thing.
You don't know why it's gone?
It broke down. I do, because I flipped to a different stock, and then I come back and my beautiful line is gone. It's a straight line at 2440, not that hard. I can put it back if I wanted to, but we're below that support now on AMC. So I either need us reclaiming that level, getting back to at least 25 or something like that, or we're going to have to retest down to 23. It just feels like some of these are starting to give it up a little bit at these lows, along with the market.
Yeah, the market is battling back a little bit. I just want to talk about Amazon. I'm out of this name in just a couple pennies. Like a dime from now, we're going to get out of Amazon. I mean, it's come right back up to the 50 period, like I said. And as if the futures are going to start to do this little dance move, I'll take the profit. Like, I'll take the profit and I'll deal with this after. Like, I want to get short Amazon more, but if I'm going to be, talking about finding a dance partner, it's going to have to be a little bit higher for Amazon. It's kind of like where we shorted it. We have a lot of time to work here. It's an hour. We're entering power hour right now. So, this is the time, I feel like, if traders want to trade, like, this is kind of the time where we're going to start to have to look at, waiting, being a little more patient for some of these levels. I did talk about that. There's my out. So we'll go bang. We've done a lot of bangs. Done a lot of banging today. Let's just spin this money, because there it is, man. We take that piece out. That's $1. So 93 cents. So 93-cent winner there on Amazon on the last 20%, 20% out. So that's good. Out. Good outs, I feel like. Obviously, we would have loved to take one right there. We should have taken it right there at 138.50, but so be it. The next reload spot for me on Amazon, if we still even like the short at that time. I told you I'm getting nervous about Google. That didn't make that bottom. Thanks, DMAC there. I trade out the show every day. Thank you so much for doing that. It's the final countdown. You're right, Eddie. Right now it's the final countdown. This is why I trade, not sing. But although,
do you know that's actually that's a movie? It's like this old.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's with Martin Sheen's in it. It's like got the Jolly Roger Squadron on the USS Nimitz. It goes back. It's actually a pretty good movie. If you're into like Top Gun and that kind of thing, Final Countdown, not a bad flick to check it out there. Now I have the song in my head though. Brendo?
The latest maybe to join the party here this afternoon, MYMD. It's actually a decent-sized float, about 175 million. Not seeing anything on this yet, but huge pop here for MYMD.
If there's one thing I've learned, it's when Brendan talks about one of those names, like make sure you get added to your list at least to watch, because that Hscs. So I take the 380 break, but if Brendan mentioned this one, it goes to 380, comes back into VWAP, just lets everybody get the shares they want at 330, and of course I want to take the breakout trade, which just stalled at 390. Now, why do you always? I will always a 380 break, definitely taking something out right away. That's not negotiable, because $4 is a psychological level. So if you're going long into that, pay yourself a little bit, because decent chance it wants to at least dip, fail that 4 even as people take profit from earlier and then maybe consolidate lower. I think where I accidentally traded at 350 to 60 does make some sense for a dip buy there. So make sure you're still watching some of these, getting some big moves there. But MYMD, as I try to chew through these, it's on the NASDAQ, load up. It's a decent volume spike, but already starting to come back in. And if you look at really where it broke out from, like that 525 area, it's about a clean 10%. So just I would shoot the middle and say if it can hold 550, it's got a second leg in it. If it can't, well, then I'm not that interested. So MYMD, Hscs are in play. I'm still watching over there on AMC. And then, of course, I am still in this Roku trade, and it's not a revenge trade, but I'd like to hope that it can give a little something back in. It's still sliding down. Like the NASDAQ and the ES just made a little tiny bit of a bottom and then tried to bump up there. Well, we just broke 83 on Roku and are showing some signs of wanting to hold below that price. So it looks like this one's going to stay safe. Nvidia, of course, had bad news on it this morning, so maybe it's going to stay relatively weak as well. But yeah, Roku could be okay. I'm not bidding just yet. I'm looking for 82s down here. I'm looking for reloads, about 83.5 and 84s. But if it doesn't pop, then that's fine. It just means it's continuing to slide, which if you're short, last I checked, is a good thing, I think.
Yeah, Google, we tried to take another 15 cents or so there on Google, because again, we got that reload one more time. I know it looks pretty silly, but all these are shorts right here, just lining them up, right? Like ping, ping, ping. And hopefully we don't get lined up on this one as well, but we could. And then we're going to get out at 117.50, man. I mean, that's going to be my plan. That's the break. Like I said, I'm having a hard time getting 20 cents on this name right now. So I feel like I want to be short, but don't want to be too short. So, if this goes, remember, look at the futures starting to break back up. And we already talked about it. I was going chop, 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 chop. I mean, that's exactly what's happened as we take the 50 period again and now chop around these levels. So definitely, I've been caught in these names before, as you guys know. So today, no. we will get out as soon as possible on these names if we're able to. And that would be Google at 117.50. And then, by the way, we did take another trade right now, looking at Apple 165. So, you know, if Apple takes down 165, we can get out of this as well. But we just took a short at 65 or something right there. So giving us an average price, I mean, that's right at the 50 periods, 62, I guess. And we are now going to be averaged in again on this name if we get into the 80s is my next take. So like I said, let the market be a little choppy here. It's gonna, I just want the stocks to take out key levels in order for me to be wrong. So I'm not gonna go back and forth. If Apple wants to come up to this 165 area, then I'll be there, I'll be short, and if it takes it out, I'm gonna get out for a 20-cent hit. So my average price right now is obviously well in the money. We're in the money 70 cents, but we just reloaded, so forget about this trade. This trade's over with, and we were holding a piece. That's why we have the average price that we have, right? So let's talk about Apple as a new trade. Like 164.80 is where I'm trying to get more short, so if we can pop up to there, that would be nice. And then again, into 165, I'm not holding it through a key level break. If the futures want to get going now, then guess what's going to happen, man? Apple's going to go. And I'm just not wanting to be part of that fill the wrong way. So that's that. Come on, man. We got another fill there, just the rest of it. I didn't realize I only got part filled. So the last fill right there at 38 on Google, we did get part filled, which is why we have two offers there. These are not average in prices. These are literally all the same price. I think one of them I got was 40, which is maybe why my price, yeah, I'm short 117.383. So let's see what happens. We're willing to take this for 12 cents.
So I've been sitting on one for a while because you said ping, ping, ping.
Yeah.
And like the first thing came to mind is a line that, like, if you're an old school basketball fan, you might know what I'm talking about. But there's I think Dennis Scott said it: ping, 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 baseline fadeaway like Bernard King. And if you have no idea who Bernard King is, that means it's a good thing because you're not an old man. But he's the answer to an interesting trivia question because Michael Jordan had a ridiculous run of scoring championships. And it was like, who's the guy? It was the last dude before Jordan's run of like, however many years in a row he won scoring chips. Who's that dude that had it the year before Jordan won? And it was Bernard King. Look him up. Unbelievable player before his time. But Hscs, I talked about that accidental long, might be where I like a reload. Well, every now and then it's like you do something and I get a nice little star in my chart. I anchor to that level. I didn't really. It pulls right back, goes right between that 50 to 60 mark. Rejects 355. I get back in when it reclaims the north side. Scalp a little out. I'll take some more out in front of 4. And one of the reasons I'll take more out in front of 4 is I'm just going to take a 4 break anyways. So if I'm going to go long when this thing breaks 4 even, then I might as well pay myself as it dip buys down into 365. Just in case it doesn't ever break that 4, pay yourself out a little bit here, Brendo.
This one reported last week, guys, but note anyways on Crocs back to day lows, essentially, but an upgrade from UBS this morning on strong current quarter, but about to go red here for Crocs.
Ooh, there was somebody last week in the chat that I know was I think somebody they were in the chat talking about they'd made a trade or made a bit of a bet on Crocs and was asking advice, and I don't remember who it was or what their position was, so best of luck to that. But I was also asked a couple of minutes ago, do I think Hellbiz is going up? So like implicitly, yes, because I'm long. That said, like it's already given you a lot here. And if we look at this in terms of like how small the float is and where it's breaking out from, you know, just the simple fact that once we got through this last 175, it kind of went to 2, and even 2 psychological, you're looking at 2.25 for resistance. This is a pretty decent trend as long as it holds above 150. The problem with that is the volume could go down and we only have an hour left in the day. It might not make a fresh high today, but that doesn't mean that this trade is necessarily done. It will be for me because I got to be flat by 4 o'clock. So it might just stand here at 175, and if it does, and I have no re-entries at VWAP, and I won't get anything in front of $2, there'll be no $2 break, and all that goes out the window. So I can't predict the future. I can't say for sure Hellbiz is going up. I can simply tell you I want to be buying a VWAP dip. I want to cover some in front of 2 so I can take a 2 break if it wants to move from here. But I don't want to be, I'm not entering here at this price at 175. The volume isn't really doing enough here to give me reason to risk that 25 cents, which that's a decent percentage-wise risk. Like it's like you're risking 7 or 8%, maybe 10, depending on how much, or actually more than that actually, on Hellbiz to hope that it can break to even. I think if you have shares here, it's better to have paid yourself out and try to hold on to a piece for a little bit bigger of a move there. And I don't want to ignore AMC for too much longer. It just tried again to get back up above that 24.40 and rejected it on a dime, so looking relatively weak. This has the possibility of dragging the group down, and by the group, I mean squeeze names, of which Helbiz technically for today does fall in. Bed Bath & Beyond is showing a few signs here. It has not broken morning support, but if this gets to 1075, a name that has like easily $1 worth of downside were it to take out that level. They all tend to follow each other here. So AMC holds below that support level. Watch out for this 10.75 on Bed Bath & Beyond. If that goes, it could flush.
All right, so like, sorry, not sorry, but like, I'm just gonna sit here and just continue to do the same stuff on Google. I want to try to find bigger trades for you. So there it is on Google. We did get that fill, of course. Then we're just out here for 15 cents. Like, it's literally 1-to-1. So we're even getting better than 1-to-1 now. So you know, as it comes back in, that's good. We're out. We're almost out of half, and I'm fine. I'm gonna hold 60% of this. If we can get something in the teens, we'll try it. I'm actually at 12. So if that can come down in, we'll get some of that. And we're just trying to, our best fill is 12 right there. So we've got a couple 12, so we'll stick with that. Maybe a lucky number, not really, but we'll see if 12 comes in. Used to like Roberto Alomar, and then we know about that story. So yeah, I still think as far as, well,
that's a sour one.
It is sour, but I still think he was one of the more talented Blue Jays
There's no
of
question.
all time.
There's no question.
Just,
Hall of Fame.
some character issues apparently there. So, but anyways, okay, Hall of Famer, right? But he got taken out of the Hall of Fame, didn't he? Or I don't know.
Did he? I don't know.
Are you allowed to do that?
I don't know how that works.
I actually don't know. But okay, we'll pass on that. You guys do your own.
No, he's still. I think he's
Must be. I mean, he's off of the Jays Wall of Fame or whatever that is, I guess. Okay, so let's just move on. I don't know why I thought about that. Oh yeah, because 12 was my price. Okay, so let's go. 117.27, yeah, not great. Oh, the trade I was looking for was Amazon. So here comes Amazon again. I still like this name to the short side. It's weaker than the market, and I think if we could dance a little bit up to this 139, which we just tested right there. So I'm gonna put an order at 90. It's because I went over and I was looking at A's, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh yeah, I'm still short Apple, looking for an out there, but we don't need an out yet. So we're gonna try 139 and then probably just give it up a little bit more into sort of here, 139.20, 139.25. Like to be wrong, I'd want to give it up in here because then the next test is basically 140. So I could see it breaking on chop, breaking 139. So that's why we want to give this one a little bit more room if possible on that play. So we're not short yet, but I do like this one. 138.90 or so to start the short. So I'm going to put that trade on right now if I can find it and just sit there. So that's all we're going to do is sit there, let it run us over a little bit, get the short, and then really get nervous about it if it takes down that 139.25. So that's going to be my area of concern. And just so if you guys are trying to follow or you are following along, first of all, now comes Google down. So now we're into that almost 1.5 to 1 risk on that. Apple, kind of the same story where we have our outs near 165, but we didn't get shorter. Like it just we were waiting at 80. I mean, it printed 80 and then tanked down. So that would be really nice if we had that. But right now our reload was 62 or whatever. It's only at 57, so that's not going to be worth it. We're waiting down here in the 40s on that name. And other than that, man, like I have this Palantir trade, but
watch SOS here, maybe.
yeah, isn't that a crypto name?
Yeah, SOS. Like SOS is a crypto name. I'm going to double check it because I just want to. I'm going to float checker just to double check the short interest because I know SOS is usually. It's actually not that big. I see 12%. The float's tiny on it either way. But it's up 40% here, making some power moves. And I just looked at it. Just rejected a 10 break. Got up to like 10.23, and it's consolidating below this 10 even number. So as long as it tries to hold this previous high, which is about 950 into that 980, if it holds this and then tries to reclaim 10, it might be good for like a break at 10 and then sort of play that into the next level. Volume's tapering off a little bit, but you know what? When it rejected 950, the volume tapered off, and it still ended up going a second time. So worth watching. I just reloaded, not just, but I did reload on Hscs. Say that 3 times fast, Neil. On Hscs at that same mid-60s price. So if it doesn't want to break out at 4 even, then I'll just sort of go back to the game. It's like you said, Sean. Like if it has to be this and it doesn't want to break 4 and go to $5, then maybe we're just sitting here going 65 long to 75 and 85 until we break $4. And if we never break $4, at least you can make a little bit scalping. Like, that's the other way to look at it. But it does look like it's trying to challenge these highs. Don't want to get rid of this because volume's still pretty solid, looks pretty strong here. Even when it rejected that high of the day breakout, it didn't pull back very far. It didn't reclaim 350. It actually managed to hold that. So the volume's solid. Everything about it looks pretty good. You want to see things that are taking out these tops, especially with the market trying to make a decision here. Find one of these runners if you can. I think this one looks pretty good so far. SOS, not quite there yet. Yeah, as I say that, it's like a bit of a jinx. Now it's retesting 950, so I might be able to forget about that one. Nvidia, which I'm still in the short of, starting to catch a bit of a bid here. So if Nvidia gets back up to 176, I will short it again. However, I'm like 99% sure that if that happens, I will have a 100 breakout long again on AMD. So if we get back up to 176 on Nvidia, that's a reload there. And then I would also take a long on AMD. It's not about a hedge. It's just that the market's making a lows. AMD's at a pretty good breakout price. And it's giving you like a clean 50 cents to $1 each time it's done it. Maybe you can get some follow through if the market decides that we've made a bottom. Got to have something to the long that's actually going to follow the market here. Because, I mean, a couple of small caps aren't going to care if the futures just made a low.
I mean, I was going to go back over to PLTR, but so I'm just waiting. So I'm getting close to getting some Amazon. We talked about where I was waiting for that one. Just to make sure it's right. Oh, yeah, 139. No, I don't want those orders. I got to cancel some orders from before. I had a 139.80 order, but no, I'm waiting for 138.80. So, 138.90. Sorry, is the trade. So if that can come up, we're gonna take it. But right now, Apple's coming up to a spot where I cancel. We went a little bit higher than that. I might as well take the fill right now. I was actually waiting at 83 for this on Apple, but why not just take it right here? What's the difference, to be honest with you? So let's just take it right now. I mean, whether or not, 5 cents shouldn't matter too much. So there it is. There's the reload there on Apple. Ooh, a nice little 5-cent reload there. We'll see if we can get it back into the 60s again and take that. So there's a nice little short we just put on for Apple. We said we were waiting at 80. I did cancel and went to 85, but we might as well take it. I took it at 78 there. So a reload there on Apple to start with bigger position. So that's going to be one. Amazon, you know that we're waiting for that as well. So Apple, Amazon, and Google, like you add up those market caps, and yeah, we're basically trading the NASDAQ. So let's just wait to see what winds up happening right now with the futures coming in now. We are going to throw to Steph in a second for that update as well. But 13,180. I mean, I'm still going to say let's chop this up for the rest of the afternoon. There's the fill on Apple. We talked about getting that. Now it's come back in. Let's see if that wants to come back for us a little bit. Google, we didn't get the reload, but we know we're waiting in the teens for this. Let's just see if the futures want to stay below the 50 period. I still think it's Chop City. Maybe we can go, if we can, Brendan, let's get that earnings board up just quickly when we get a second, no rush, because maybe I want to trade some names. Like I know Upstart, UPST is tomorrow. Just thinking like where can we go? Like, if we're looking for some new trade ideas, sometimes it is good to look forward a little bit.
I know Lemonade reports.
Oh, that's right. But that was a name, but both you and I were kind of stumped on that.
Oh, for the love of, there was a couple of other ones that were small cap.
There they are. They're on there right now. Okay, yeah. So thanks. Look how fast that is.
Upstart was
is that Marathon Oil? Because that's going to be a good one too. That's a big name coming through. So Groupon, we don't trade that. Oh, that's what I wanted to look at. Okay, it's the top right there tonight, Clover. So
Smile Direct too.
Yeah, Smile Direct and Clover. Yeah, I knew there was some names on there that could jump. So here we go again on this. Wow, what's going down? Ooh, Apple.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, the market's going down. So, all right, let's take another bid on Apple. We just got a fill there. Oh, darn it. You know that feeling? I mean, it's a good one when you're looking, and I'm like, oh, Clover, like da-da-da, and you look over and your net is starting to go higher, and I'm just like, what's going on? But there's Apple. Yes, sir. We'll spin it right there for an unknown money spin here because there it is, man. Apple coming in. Also, Google starting to print. That goes as low as, oh, my God. Like I got pratted there. Remember where Prad's like, oh, they know your orders? That stopped at 12. Like I did that Roberto Alomar thing. Here, go. Just hit it down, man. Don't make me, I might just pay up one more. There it is. Thank you so much for that one as well. Whoa. There, see? I think our internet is slow, man. A lot of stuff is slow for me right now. But let's go over. I heard the call. Yes, Fahad, thumbs up. It's Steph. Let's look at some futures.
Hi, everybody. I'm back again. So first thing, what I want to mention when it comes to going into your day is you want to mark off your levels. Of course, I've mentioned that. It is key, but you want to have a potential short setup and a potential long setup, so you're not just sticking to one bias. So right now, as you can see, we're kind of in the middle of all the levels that I've been mentioning, and bringing it back down to that 4110 level. Right below it, if we're really going to continue to crack to the downside, is 4100, which is a key psychological level. And if you guys remember, a level that I've been talking about from last week is 4080, all the way back down here. 4080 has been acting as critical support, and if we break through that, we really could head to the downside. So let's see, especially it's going to be in play with our CPI numbers on Wednesday. So if we're going to be setting up for some more bearish momentum, pay attention to the levels on the downside here. That's all from me. Back to you guys.
There you go.
Attention.
Yeah, all you get, the case closed.
Attention.
I don't know why the case closed has to be like luggage from like 1960, like before I was born, which is like,
love that luggage.
I mean, look, man, if I wasn't born when that luggage was probably made, then you know it's
that's
old.
Born way before.
That's old as hell. That's maybe even the 60s or 50s.
That's made before
no,
you're born, my friend.
But this
You're
HS,
born in what, 54, or what year were you born again? Remember that Raider trader, man? We're gonna have to get that guy, because honestly, like,
he's awesome.
He put you up on, but you know what? If you're up on the retirement Hall of Fame before you retired, that's actually good.
Gray hair here. You know?
That's a good thing to be up on the retirement board.
Being retired would be great.
I'd love to be retired.
Well, actually, that's not true.
Nah,
being able to retire at any time you want, but then having something to do that keeps you engaged, that's the way to go. It's like, I could retire if I want to, but I'm not going to, because then what the heck would you do with your life? It's like, whatever.
A lot of people figure that out.
Hscs, by the way, did make the $4 break, so first 380 was a good level, then at 365, now $4, so we'll keep doing this, because now I have that Bernard King thing in my head. But a couple of people knew who he was, which I'm actually impressed by, because that's going way back. Like, you're a real basketball fan if you know who that dude is. We've talked a little Will Chamberlain, but now we're talking him. Four quarters there is the recent high, so I've scalped some out on the breakout. Now I'm just looking to have this go to that 450 mark, see if we can't get a bigger run here. $5 would be next. Not sure the volume is up to the task. We had a decent volume spike there. We can't see it. Sorry, guys. I'll just do that, make it extreme. We had a pretty good volume spike when it claimed that high, but it's already peeling back in here. So I'd like to see the volume ramp back up. For now, there's buyers at 4 trying to sustain this move, so we're all good there. And I didn't get anything. Well, I was about to tell you, like, Nvidia was making that push. I thought I'd get that 176, and AMD was super close to breaking out that 100, but it just hasn't happened yet. So I'm not going long unless we get that break, but also no reload on the Nvidia short, unfortunately. So I'll be sitting there with my stop. Oh, it's 320 now, which does mean I don't like breakouts on a stock like AMD, which might be affected by the imbalances. I'm canceling that breakout order by about 340 or so, but still plenty of time for it to happen.
Yeah, don't remind me about imbalances. Those have been pretty sour for me. So Apple,
Today's
again,
short,
some good, yeah, I hope it's going to be short. Some good outs again for Apple as we just took. I mean, that, again, we started there, so it's not, I mean, we put on more shares there than we had here. But anyways, the average price right now is pretty right. That's 78. That's from right here. So let's see. We're waiting at 85 again, and that went to 84. So let's just see if that can come through right now. 85 there on Apple. Yep. Yeah, we didn't get that, Phil? Okay, no, we didn't. All right. All right, so let's just put it back. Actually, my order's not there, so I can't. I was like just surprised.
No.
Why is my order not there? But there it is for Apple. So okay, let's just go to see. If we get an 85, we'll take it there on AAPL. Other than there it is. So that just came in. Remember, we do have our outs, man. Breaking through 165, and we want to get out of Apple. So if that does happen, we'll take one more fill at 90, and then we'll let it fly. So hopefully Apple can calm down, get back in. But again, pretty choppy. I like these highs where we're at. Google came all the way back again, and we just got reloaded one more time again there on Google. So it's like, you know, as if I'm trying to do something here. I'm just trying to scalp this thing out, and it's been a great, like, I should almost, I don't know. I mean, it's not like I'm super, super proud of when it looks like this. I mean, I'd rather it be all the way down here and then it looks like this. But for right now, it's been a pretty good scalp, and there it is. So there's another fill. So let's see if we can get that one now. This is just minutes apart, right? So we'll put another bid down here, see if we can get it, maybe even at 25 again. The more and more we scalp this, the more and more it's going to be wrong. I mean, eventually it's going to break. So I'm not super excited about some of these positions right now. As you can see, Apple's now testing up on the high side. So like, what am I even doing?
Well, watch for a second here. There's right at 11 even on Bed Bath & Beyond. There's this 100,000 share order just sitting on the bid. I noted that because AMC is looking relatively weak. It just pulled back in. So if we get through something like that, no size. Look, 100,000 shares, given what you can see on level 2, might seem like a lot. Bed Bath & Beyond has done 112 million shares. So if it wants to go through that, it absolutely will. I just tend to think if this gets filled, it just makes me like that 75 breakdown, which I still have in. I'm still going to take it if it breaks that 1175 short side on Bed Bath & Beyond. But AMC just made one of these like wick off bottoms down to 23, put in a 23 low, and it's starting to charge back to the upside. So I see that, and if that's going to be a bottom potentially on AMC, then your risk to reward on longing in front of this guy that's sitting there on Bed Bath & Beyond is really not that bad. So I'll try to get some here at 8s, and if I can get like 3s and 4s, that's even better. Yes, I like that 1075 if you break support to short the stock, but there's size on the bid. AMC just made a wick off bottom, so I'm going to go long in front of this guy here. I should have just punched in at like 3s and 4s when you could get them before giving that whole spiel, instead of giving spiel, then trying to get shares, then you only get them at 8, and now it's already at 18. That's just me like whining and complaining live. But yeah, so anyway, size at 11 even. My stop will be at that 11. I still think the 1075 is a bit of a short there on Bed Bath & Beyond, but hey, it's trying to catch a little bit of a bid. If AMC decides to go too, then all the better for it. I was kind of thinking it would challenge a little bit lower, consolidate off 23. It basically saw 23, got 10 cents away from it, and then decided to run 80 pennies. So AMC might have just made its bottom here for this afternoon.
I mean, that'd be nice for Ape Nation for sure. So I have to just regroup here because I had too many A stocks. Like that. Remember, I was like, oh, I don't have my offers there. It's because like I canceled my Amazon when I meant to take it, and then I canceled my Apple when I meant to go the other way. So a little bit thrown around here. Like we should be short Amazon, and we're not. So if you guys are short, that 139 is what I was calling, but we're not short it, which sucks because I look over now and it is dipping back down in. So Amazon just screwed up the A's there. Amazon and Apple had the wrong order on the wrong side. It didn't burn me at all. I mean, Apple did wind up coming up. Our stop still hits. So right there, we're out. We did take a little bit of a long, then we just got out of the rest right now. So Apple was a hit. We're still positive on the name there, but you know, that's not that big of a hit when our last reload there is 85. We did want to get a 90. That's what I screwed up. Instead of, I canceled the Amazon one, which would have put me short, which would be nice. But all right, so that's Apple dancing around now. We have broken out a little bit of that range, but still, I still feel like we're chopping in here. So like I said, we're not going to throw good money after bad now. If it's going to chop around like this, we've experienced this back and forth now for a couple days in the after show, like right now at 3:30. So hopefully it can come back in. The only stock that I'm really waiting for now to make its next move would be this one, and that's Google. It's going to take out 50 right here. It's bounced off there a couple times. This is going to be a 12-cent hit. Completely fine. You've seen me scalp this numerous times. So we make back a little bit of money on Google today off of that horrible 120 break that we had earlier. So that really started the day off. I mean, the day was fine. I mean, we absolutely destroyed, we destroyed AMC, but we've still never been that high as we were basically when this tick happened, because when that happened, that's basically when we got into Google, and then our net started spilling down. So that's what that is. There's the Amazon fill. So now we're getting ready. Remember where we're going to get out 139.25 if that breaks. So we're going to start the short right now. We will get out of our Google because that's going to break now, which is fine. Here it comes right now. A couple more pennies up, and we'll get out of that name. Palantir's trying to rebound a little bit. I don't know if I believe this market move, but hey, if it's going to go, it's going to go. And we need to find some names long for sure. So
I'm canceling my Roku reloads.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if we want
I'll
this.
take Nvidia in front of 176, partly because I think I'm about to get long AMC through 100. AMD through 100. AMC is at $24, Neil. It's so easy to get those mixed up. But Roku, I don't need to diddle with that one. I can hold on to the shares I have. It gets above 84, we just get out. But AMD is getting real close to making that break at 100. And I think that's the one I want to go to the long side. AMC, by the way, And so I finally got a few more shares of Bed Bath & Beyond. My price is now 10s. I'm trying to get some out, in front of the quarters and try and ride it a little bit higher. AMC bottoms at 23. Now might be consolidating at 24, which if you remember and go back to the open, what's the price that broke right at the open on AMC? It was 24 even. And so bookends at 3:30 after just made a wipeout low, AMC looking for a potential 24 break. Maybe it's a trap, but as my good man Obi-Wan said in a not very good Star Wars movie, spring the trap. That's what you got to do. So 24 breaks, I'm going long on AMC. Going to add that to Bed Bath & Beyond as well. Hopefully AMD breaks 100, otherwise I'm just staring at it all afternoon and doing nothing with it.
Which one was that, to spring the trap? Remember what the name of that one was?
Oh goodness, it was in like the Phantom Menace, like that crappy.
One of those ones, okay.
I'm pretty sure that's the one.
All right.
That one's
Yeah, I didn't know if it was one of those originals or not. Okay, so Amazon. Amazon went down 20 cents in the money, and we just stared at it because we thought there was going to be more. And then we realized that, yeah, that is kind of where that 50 period is right there. So Amazon does come right back in. We could have took 20 cents on it. We didn't. It's right back to where we started. Google as well, back down in a little bit now. So I'm going to take a little bit off because things have changed a little bit here as we came very, very close to getting stopped out, but we didn't. So that was so far so good. If this can roll down and print some 35s for us, that would be great for that name. But there it is, as it just hits some 35s or 34s. I don't know what I got there, but some outs there on Google when I thought it was going to be a bad trade for us. So pretty happy with that one. What's up, Brendan?
Another one having a big day, guys. WW International. A couple of upgrades on this today. Big move up as a result, through to 7. Just got a huge volume spike there, taking it 2-day highs for WW.
Oh, and there goes. Everyone's like, oh, you got it wrong. It's Attack of the Clones. Sue me, man. We're doing a live show, and and my stop just didn't hit on Nvidia, by the way. So, that's a little bit frustrating.
Spring the stop.
I know, that's... Anyways, I got to go back and check to see what I just did with my 176 stop on Nvidia. It doesn't get filled there, which is very, very frustrating. I just paid an extra 40 cents on that one. I got the reload on that in front of that 76, almost instantly stopped out. The market is definitely making a bit of a bottom here. AMC's still not above 24, so that breakout's not coming in. I don't wonder if I shouldn't have just taken this long. I maybe should have just taken the 176 long on Nvidia, but I'm going to stick with the 100 on AMD, at least for now. Amazon 139 looks pretty juicy.
That's where I'm short, but it's not going down.
It's weird, right? Why didn't we just break 100 there? And look at the Amazon 139. That's just sitting there screaming. If the market's trying to make this top, and try and break this top, I should say, then we should be trying to get some of these longs. I'm down to only my Roku short and then the Hellbiz long because everything else came out. By the way, I didn't even say this. Hscs, they death candled me out of this break. So the last entry point after the 365 and 380 longs was the 4 break, and it did this little death candle and is right back to consolidating. So maybe he wants to take the top out again. I'll give it one more shot to try and run the highs, but I'm not going to jump into this at that high of the day. I just got wicked out of it. So it's starting to open up a little bit and be, let's just say, it's not as easy of a trade when it's going to be putting in these 20, 30 cent candles to the downside and then just sort of recovering. If it wants to do that earlier in the day, when you've got room to hold it all day long for it to continually take out highs, fine. But the risk to reward isn't fantastic if it's going to be pulling this on you at 3:30. So I'm going to have to walk away from, at least for now, HSCS. We could always come back to this one tomorrow. I'll just look for that AMD, which is now at $99.95. Look at what we're doing at this 100 level. Just break it already. Piss or get off the pot, AMD. Break this 100. If I'm going to get stopped out of Nvidia, I at least thought I'd catch a break there on AMD. And Amazon 139 looks pretty good. I just don't want to take that one if it's 345. But it's got 5-10 minutes for at least a scalp trade. Yeah, I'm looking at these. I'm looking at the futures. If we're holding these lows, if the level breaks, I just want to get in, get some out, scalp a little bit. There's room right to this 140 here. It was 149, now 139. If it were to take it out, you can get 25, 50, then 75 pennies. We are running out of time for a real continuation. And you know what? If you just reloaded in front of any of these key levels, just keep going short, I suppose. I should just be instead of trying to go long 24, I should be trying to go short AMC 24s. But I like the long better, unfortunately.
We've been holding the shorts. So there it is right now. Google, we hit that for that. We go fail on that as I was put the fail on some of Neil's charts there too, because the market did fail at trying to break there. So I mean, the NASDAQ came up, it went right back to this level where we bottomed there, topped out there, bottomed there, bounced, topped there, and just topped again. So let's see, if we could just rewind this, honestly, like an hour when I was saying about the chop in the afternoon that it's been like this for a while, looks like the NASDAQ's gonna hold true to that. So we're gonna get out again of 30%, actually 40%. One of these must be two outs there somewhere, or double the shares. It's probably right here at 28. So down in there as we hit that level, really lucky. And again, I wish that I could show you like more than this, but I mean, look at all these bottoms. That's a bottom, that's a bottom, that's a bottom, and then we just got the bottom again. So I mean, we're getting these tops. We don't have that top, but we got in these tops and we're getting these bottoms. So I don't know what else we can do. The market has to behave and it has to act in the way that's gonna print you some cash. And right now, Google, it's gonna be scalp game. I want to hold on to Amazon, man. I mean, I thought you were looking at the 139 short, but you're looking at the break for a scalp. I get that. So I'm looking at the same type of thing. So that's why I'm trying to scalp out again. So just like we went short 39, we get out at 80. So that's going to be, well, we're short at 96. So that's 16 cents. And here it comes right back up again. So we only got out at 20% of that. We are trying to see, again, just trying to look for some levels. So this is 139.20. Not that I think it's really anything. It's just I don't want to hold it up to 140, especially in this market. We could get a run here in the afternoon. So it looks like it wants to break now. So, we do have to do our best work to try to get out of some of these names. Neil and I both are unable to. It's just the policy here at Day Trade the World. It's a prop firm, and we do not hold shares overnight. So we are flat at 4 o'clock, 4:05, 4:10, something like that. But within reason, you do need to be flat on all markets, both equity, futures, whatever you're trading, crypto, whatever, at Day Trade the World, you have to be flat. So we're going to try to do that with only now 15 minutes until the imbalances. I have to tell you, Neil, I don't know if you missed that or not, but
that is
yeah,
correct.
it's 95 million shares, notional to sell.
Which is nothing.
Yeah, I think it came out on Friday like 1.5 billion or something. So that's kind of the numbers that we're looking for. So I do not expect to be influenced in my positions too much by the imbalance. But again, I'd prefer to come out to the short side because we are net short as Palantir just is doing nothing. I'm actually waiting for Palantir to go back to flat because that's a level that
I just tightened my stop because otherwise...
Oh, you're in this too?
No, I stopped it at 990 because it wasn't moving, so I just tightened the stop so I would get out of it, realistically. It's just not doing anything. AMD finally breaks 100. Get a ones, no slippage at all, but the initial move goes to 110, able to get some out in front of there, and I guess the quarters will be next, but not a ton of follow through. But at least when I'm looking at this, and the reason I like the breaks, and obviously, if you just shorted in front of any of those key levels instead of waiting for these breakouts, you could have definitely been scalping them a heck of a lot more. There's no question about that. I just looked at Friday's bottoms and said, if we're going to try and make a consolidation off of those lows, and the shorts are starting to turn around that was holding all afternoon, then yeah, let's try to get some of these longs and break out potentially, or at least try to make a run at going positive on the day. The NASDAQ's only down 0.5%, and that's just Nvidia's fault realistically. So I think there's a chance that we can make a bit of a run. We are running out of time for that. And just a correction, when you said, we have to be flat by a certain time, that's all markets. Like there are, you can trade, there's Europe, there's the Asian markets, the futures actually come back online and they trade the world. So there is trading outside of just the North American markets, but we're trading the US stocks here. So we get out at 4 o'clock, but there are, you can trade overnight.
Regardless, we're just talking policy, same thing. Regardless, the servers restart, so you do have to be out. But yeah, if you are part of Day Trade the World, check out your trading floor development team. I think they're still called that anyways. They'll be able to explain to you all the rules and check the internet relay chat. I don't even know if they still use that stuff.
Yo, dude, someone in the chat goes, Neil's hair has grown a bit. Nice to see. Okay.
What does that mean?
It kind of feels like I know I'm balding. And the long-term plan. The joke thing is the long-term plan. Because thank you, Michael Jordan. Because I bicked it. My COVID cut was just to shave it off. I'm prepared for it. I already know what's up. So believe me, at some point you will just see me with the cue ball, and that will be a permanent thing.
Had it already,
because
numerous
I have,
times,
but I'm working up to it.
Oh, permanent.
My daughter loves it. My wife is
Who cares about?
So realistically,
I mean, I was gonna say,
you know how that goes,
as long as your daughter is
wrapped around that finger is how I'm rolling.
That's how I'm rolling too.
But that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
obviously, come on, man.
Neil the Don Mega going bald.
What is the Don Should I know what that is? Should I know what the Don Mega is?
It kind of just means like a boss, I guess.
Thank you, Wesley Snipes. Hopefully that's a compliment. I'll take it as a compliment, man. It's like
so.
that, like one of my favorite
Don't worry,
lines.
Neil. Ron Williams says you are a very handsome man.
Well, thank you, Ron Williams.
Regardless of your hair. I don't know, Rob.
Well, see, the person in the chat was called Wesley Snipes. He thought someone called me Wesley Snipes, and then he took a shot at Wesley Snipes saying that means I'm bankrupt and can't act. First of all, Wesley Snipes was amazing in Blade, and if you've never seen New Jack City, legit, man. Nino Brown is, come on, son.
Wasn't he in an airline movie or something? What was that called?
Passenger 57?
Yes, 58.
Always bet on black.
Always bet on black. That's the line that I remember.
Don't be trash talking Wesley Snipes, man. Because like Wesley Snipes, he'll probably, and he's not that tall, but he probably whoops some butt too. Like, white man can't jump.
He probably
what
got
are
a
we
lot
talking
of muscles
about?
there in jail.
What are we
Wasn't he in jail for a
Why
while?
are we trash talking Wesley? I know you like White Man Can't Jump too. It's a great movie.
I'm not trash talking anything. I'm saying he probably got stronger in jail.
I'm just, come on, man.
Probably could fight some guys.
Demolition. You give me way too much. Demolition Man 2. Yo, Demolition Man is a
credit
great
to Sang
film.
Lamb there. I don't know if
Thank
anybody
you,
else.
What are we talking about?
Yeah. We're
Trash
good to
talk
go here.
Wesley Snipes.
Everyone, look.
Yo, that new Coming to America movie though.
There's a new one? Oh, the most recent one.
And Wesley Snipes was in that. His character was okay,
They shouldn't
but
have rebuilt that or
not so much, man.
remade that or whatever.
You can't do Coming to America without Soul Glow. So you had to bring back like the curls and Eric LaSalle and all that with the saxophone because that's where it's at. Like that's that flick right there. AMD needs to do something here. How do you break 100 at 340 and go 10 cents, 12 cents is as far as it's gone? It's holding the bid. But this is ridiculous, man. Like after the news that we added Nvidia, this is what it's going to give you, essentially nothing here. It's not like it's not working. It's just not moving enough. And Amazon did make that break at 139, but where is it going? Absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
So this is one of those diddle in the middle, doesn't give you any follow through. Hellbiz, if you're still watching this stock, officially it's done for the day. It just tested that 150. It didn't break 150 or I'd be out of it. So it looks like it went to 151. I'm just going to, I might just have to take it out right here. Like, why am I even waiting around? I'll throw an offer up at like 170 just in case it wants to make another push higher. But at this point, it's either making one last stand or it's breaking that 150 and we're getting out at break even. I still think there's a decent chance tomorrow can still be a green day for Hellbiz. I don't think it's done by any stretch, but I was saying earlier, someone asked me if I think it was going up from here. I'm like, I think the move might be done for today. I'm still in the long, but it feels like it's a little bit done. AMC is finally starting to follow through. So
I want to punch long so bad.
So I'm not going to look the gift horse in the mouth. I said I'd take some out of quarters. AMD, sorry guys. AMC, AMD. AMD finally goes a little bit further, so 125,
right,
10 minutes from imbalances. I was playing this to 101 anyways, and now we're running out of time, so it might actually end up being 101.50. But for now, we'll get some offers out just in case. The tighter we get to 350, the more likely I am to just simply slap a trailing stop on this at 100 even. Until then, I want to be getting it out at like 99.75 or something along those lines. AMC 24 break. For all that talk, there's one crazy wick here on a dark pool, but it never really challenged that level, so nothing to see there on AMC. In fact, I'm actually going to cancel that stop. I no longer, I don't want that break. We're trending down here. There was a shot when it looked like it made a wick bottom. It was going to break out. Now it's 341. Throw that one out in the trash, at least for today. We'll come back to AMC tomorrow.
Yeah, Neil is Deshaun Watson. I remember when I made that call for Deshaun Watson.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, no, not for that. No, not for that. No, yeah, that's true. No, I'm trying to find the thing. Do you have it on here? Just so
it's
we can show
one.
people. Yeah.
Somebody, so we had a guy that made our animations.
It's funny,
for
I
us.
said that and I didn't even realize.
You can't, don't be calling me Deshaun Watson.
No, the look.
You know what, it might not be on the board anymore because just to get rid of it.
Hey, Lucas, do you have the Neil
the puke one?
If you could find that. I want to show people what we're talking about before, because I do realize that was a misstep there, not that. Oh, by the way, Olivia Newton-John, Grease actress, apparently passed away, 73. So,
we're losing them all, man.
We're losing them all there.
Lieutenant Uhura passed away as well.
On that, who?
Uhura from Star Trek.
Yeah, I don't know.
See, come on.
Yeah, but okay, let's just continue to go on that one.
Sean's like, who the hell are you talking about?
If he can find, he can't find it. Okay.
The black girl from Star Trek.
Oh,
she was
that girl passed away.
the communications officer. She passed away.
I don't know if was she in anything else.
Hell, probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, okay, anyways. We'll try to find that one for you later. All right, Amazon, flush ourselves on the toilet on that one. We're still green on the stock on the day. Like I said, you know, just the stock market started to go, and you might have heard me like low-key say, like, I really want to get long right now. I feel like this break, normally, like if this was 11 o'clock or, you know, more than 5 minutes until imbalances, I think we've broke above now, and I kind of like the long here. I don't know if there's enough juice to go. I mean, it's been pretty choppy, and I don't want to just push the long because we got stopped out of Amazon. I mean, you know, it was a 20-cent hit. It sucked, or 25-cent hit, but at the end of the day, it was really just a cup of coffee, and you guys have heard me say that a couple times, and I really do mean it when I say that. It's like, I'm not trying to, you know, like when I get hit hard, I tell you that every time. And so it's the same thing back and forth. So it's not like it's not a big hit, you know. That first trade today on Google was bad. I've talked about that. That was not a good one. The the AMC trades were great trades with upsized volume as well on those. So all good. We did not have a big trade on Amazon. We talked about why heading in. And then Google, one more time, you know, we've taken out profit. That's kind of been a little silly because it hasn't done much. So I kind of wish I wasn't even involved. It's been a waste of my time. But because I have shares and I have capital in there, it's what I'm looking at. And then there goes Apple as well, kind of on that short as well. So Apple did have a dance spot there, back and forth. We talked about getting stopped out. I really like that long right here. If we could take out that wick high of 165.20, and I will push that long. But the problem is, again, we only have 5 minutes until the market on close and balances come through. And if you can, hit the like button. I mean, that would be the biggest help for all of us. These are the market on close and balances right now, and it's nothing because they're all 930. As soon as 350 lights up, all these numbers are going to obviously be in the millions, I would hope, and then these are all going to change. So it's not like CCL has anything. These are all what's left over, or if there's any halts involved from 930. So, you know, that's what that is. This will update soon. Okay, I will test the Apple long. So if it goes, it's almost like I don't even mind it breaking this 165 here. 165.
I think we're running into the close.
165.13. I think we're running into the close as well. So let's see if that can go. I really want to take out this wick high, though. I'm trying to be as specific as I can. And if it takes it out, then great. But if not, then I can sit back and relax because I don't need to worry about it. So that's what we're going to do. We still have this short. And then someone said, what's up with your Palantir? Honestly, I was just holding this long. I'm up pretty good on Palantir today. I mean, we already have these bottoms. That was the short, That short was taken out, so we were about flat. I think we were still up on the name at that point. Then it came all the way back down, and we bought this 970, and then our best out on the 970 is a 10.14. So that's 70 and 14, so that's 44 cents or so on the upside. So that's okay. We're still in the money 11, but yeah, it's bled down a little bit. It's 5% of what this position was. So it's okay. I'm just trying to hold on to that. I don't really know why, to be honest with you.
So CCL, just because you brought it up there, I think a couple of guys were asking about this in the chat. Shout out Daryl Flinch, and I think Super SPAC Man. A few were asking about this one because it held 10 even. It was super strong this morning. Gave it all back. Held 10s. Only a scalp trade from there. And yeah, I mean, scalping off $10 is probably come and gone, but that's one to watch. That $10 psychological level, I mean, it just rejected the 50 period, which just sits at 10 1/4. It's been making a nice bottom at 850 and kind of trending back into the upside. You're just waiting for the day that it holds above that 50 period. Like, get a close above the 50 period on the daily chart, that is, on CCL, you know, with that 10 1/4, maybe get a bit of an 11 breakout going on. Like, this is definitely got some room to run here. Clearly, you still have some tailwinds that it has to deal with, you know, monkeypox and overall just consumer and spending and travel could be a little bit of an issue, but certainly one that's got to be on your radar every single day. And thank you guys in the chat for at least those of you that said that I look a little more like Don Cheadle, because I've always thought that if there is like a celeb that I resemble, it's Don Cheadle, man, and he's one of my favorite actors out there. He's great in Boogie Nights. He played Earl Manigault in a pretty cool basketball film. If you don't know who that guy is, he's like a street ball legend. AMD took all of this time to break 100, and then right before the imbalance comes out, like, look at this candle. Like, really? So I'm scalping it out, and then this is what happens. Thank you very much, AMD. It's still holding right around 100 even, but with 2 minutes to go till the imbalances come, this is what I will be doing with AMD. And that's being happy that it just held to 70 and gave me a chance to get out flat. Like that's right before the imbalance is that kind of a death candle. I'm not saying it's coming out as a sell imbalance, but I'm certainly not betting against it. It's just you don't really see that very often unless news happened there. I'll look it over at Nvidia because I'm going to assume a little bit of a turnaround at Nvidia as well. And remember I said I would flip long, get out of Nvidia 176, flip long into AMD at 100. Well, the long at Nvidia 176 actually gave you $2. So sometimes you just go over, key level was breaking and I couldn't get an AMD to break 100. Should have just gone long on a VWAP break of Nvidia, but I've really only liked the short on this name all day, much to my chagrin. But I think we could see some sell imbalances on some of the chip names just based on what AMD just did.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay, so based on that, yeah, we've just been scalping out some Google. I did want to look at Beyond Meat quickly because it's down to 39 again. This is at the day's low. You know, and again, if there was more time, this would be a great slap down, I think. 39 breaking, it would be a great play here for Beyond Meat. So, you know, this one, if you did want to swing something in it tomorrow, I really feel like the market's probably going to fly on Friday off that CPI number, almost regardless of what it is. I feel like we may have seen... And I don't know. I mean, I guess all the algos have to be offside, I guess, for the market really to move. But I just wonder if, not that we've seen the end of inflation, that's nowhere near, but I wonder if we get a print higher than the last. This could be a little bit of a trend change. And if that does happen, then I do think that this market moons. But the market's already, not mooning, but the market's already up quite nicely in the last couple months, or I guess a month or so from those bottoms. So we'll see. That's going to be coming up on Wednesday. Thanks, Stephanie, like that for sure. But okay, so that's Beyond Meat for that one. We only have a minute left to go. Brendan was saying like 100 million to sell. Yeah. I don't think that's changed at all. So we'll have to wait to see where that comes in. I mean, my eyes are still going everywhere. I have canceled that Apple long. I mean, it's
too late.
Yeah, it's too late, and plus the short's probably still fine anyways.
I just got, by the way, I'm out of Hellbiz. It's done. It got up to like almost a 170, so that's going to be good enough there. Watch that 150 for tomorrow. That held on a dime, so it was 125, then 150 with the three longs, and then it holds 150 on that death candle. I'll be watching AMD here for the rebalances, for the imbalances, and I still have that Roku short, oddly enough. That's the one thing that didn't stop me out. It never broke 84. I've tightened my stop to 83.80 on Roku.
I just put like a prayer down there at 117 teens here, just in case these imbalances do come out and we get a nice little surprise in our favor. It's like a bank error in your favor. Whenever this happens, man, it's not like we're going to celebrate too much. These are just a market mover, so let's wait to see here. And there they are. They do come out. Let's see what it does. Obviously, Google does absolutely nothing. Verizon, PayPal with a sell, so that could send this name a little bit to the downside. We have the 1 minute chart up here. So, and again, I think we're having internet problems still, and Fahad's going to sort of confirm that a little bit. So that might be a little slow on the flipping, but there it is, PayPal to the downside. Maybe if I just zoom in a little bit more, we can try to look at some of these names. There's PayPal down. Other than that, didn't we say Marathon was reporting? So we'll see. That's going to be a bid. So maybe there's somebody knows something about Marathon tonight. There's your Nvidia. So okay, so one big name on here, really. I mean, PayPal's on there. So is Verizon. There's Palantir as a buy. Nvidia's a bid. So there it is. Yeah. So nice little move upside there.
Damn it.
For Nvidia. Yeah. See, and that's the problem, right?
That's frustrating.
You sit there and you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's frustrating because like right before imbalances come out, like that's the candle on AMD, and I decide like let's just play it conservative, get out, could be an indication. It's the absolute reverse. Like it decides to catch a bit of a bid. So sometimes somebody knew something, they flushed it down, and it brought it right back up. 100 looks pretty solid there on AMD. I'm just down to Roku, and with the market bouncing here, Roku is very likely closely about to try to stop this out here in the tighter stop. That'll be essentially break even. There's still a chance this could flush down, at least a little bit. I'll try and take some out. If it'll give me, you know what, I might just take it around here if it can give me something in the 50s, because if the market is trying to bounce, there's no need to get too greedy there on Roku. Come on, don't partial fill. Fill the whole thing. Let's go.
All right.
So let's see if we can't get the last of Roku. That'll be the last position of the day. I will check back in for you guys on AMC. Checks notes, 24 break. I cancel my 24 stop break on AMC, and then right before the imbalance comes out, it cleanly gives you like a 25 to 30 cent winner. So it'll happen to you, but I don't like breakouts that late. I always put some kind of a time limit on when I don't want to take a breakout trade. Looks like you could have just left that one in there and would have been fine. Oh well.
All right, we'll end the day with a little money spinner because finally there, Google does come back. Ooh, we didn't get that 20 bid. Okay, I'm gonna put a bid at 20 because it just stopped there. Google was starting to come back in, and the point about it is we only have 30% left of this trade, and obviously we wish it was gonna be a little bit more downside there, but we'll put a 20 bid, see if we get that filled, then we'll see about a teen bid, and then go from there. Is there any names you guys want us to look at really quick? Oh, thanks, Leroy. Sean looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, that's pretty funny. I do
Get
like
to the
that
chopper.
one there. Get to the chopper.
That's a good.
right now.
Actually, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
What?
Yeah, whatever. It's funny.
Oh,
If we didn't watch House of Lies, I've never seen that. You seen House of Lies?
No, I have not.
So we'll
Is that good?
double check. I don't know. I started watching some HBO show. It's actually pretty funny. It's called Rap City. Have you seen that? It's like some female rappers. It's kind of funny.
Rap City was the name of that was like the local.
Yeah, that was the Much Music
Master
one.
T.
Yeah, I think it was. Or
Much
was it
Music.
MTV? I don't know. It was one.
No, Rap City was.
I think it was local. Yeah, at Much Music Building there. Anyways, I only watched one episode. It was last night. It just came to my mind there. Okay, SoFi. Let's just keep on going. Okay.
Someone asked to imbalance in SoFi. I'm gonna get it to you in a second.
Yeah, okay, we can just check out SoFi here, but let's just check out tomorrow. We have Upstart coming. We have Clover coming through as well. So Upstart today up that 9%. Great move for Upstart. I mean, obviously, as a lot of these companies continue to sort of catch their wings a little bit, this is going to be the most exciting name, I think, tomorrow anyways, for earnings. I mean, Clover could go, but Clover's a $3 stock.
Yeah.
So you got to look at Upstart right there. Let's just do a quick little float checker here and see what UPST is on the short side. I'm going to say about 21% or so. Oh, it's much bigger than that. 35, 35, 35, 35. So we might have our new champion here. I mean, I think Beyond Meat with its float is pretty unbelievable on the short side. This has 80 million shares with 35% of them short. So, hey, if Upstart beats tomorrow, you are going to see a moon on that name like crazy. So let's wait to see if that can come through. I mean, FinTech has not been great. PayPal missed. PayPal was better, but it's still below where it was. And then Block also was not great. So we'll have to wait. So Upstart tomorrow, trying to catch a bid. And if it does, man, I know this is another name Fahad's interested in. This is big time short. Watch out for that 35 level. Possibly even taking out 40 tomorrow on Upstart. Like, that might sound crazy, but you could have a 20% move, just like you did on Uber, just like you had on Lyft. And then like you got a little bit on Palantir this morning before it started to head back into the downside. So, hey, thank you so much, Sir Artorius. Right there. Thank you so much for that one. New subscriber, and thank you for the $20, man. Yeah, come back every day. Like, I think we had a pretty good show, but you know, we can always do better, and we'll try to do that tomorrow. And I believe we will. So join us tomorrow. Thank you so much for that one,
and
sir.
Only 5 minutes to go, but I'll add one to that list. And it's not just because Hellbiz was clean, but part of that is why I want to look at. I almost said Sundial. Smile Direct Club, SDC. It's bounced off of $1 consolidation. It's got over 20% short interest. It has on the daily, that's $1.50 your resistance on the daily chart. It even got to 148 today. So 150 level break in play for Smile Direct. $1 even for support. And a 20% short interest, why not? And thank you guys for pointing out that House of Lies. So it's Don Cheadle in it. However, and you guys tell me, like, where do I find this House of Lies? I'm a fan of Don Cheadle, but is it an Amazon
Probably
show?
HBO Max.
Is it HBO Max?
Probably what I would
Sliding,
guess.
like I guess I have,
All the really
I have
high-quality
Crave. That's
shows.
HBO.
Yes,
so.
you should. Yeah, if you have the add-on or whatever.
Okay,
for
so
that,
then I'm like 99% sure I got Crave,
it out.
so I'll be able to check this House of Lies out. Don Cheadle, for whatever reason, we're talking about him a lot. It just seems a little bit weird, but why not? Thank you guys for everything. You're giving us shows to watch. You're giving us compliments. You're trash talking Wesley Snipes, or some people are fans of Wesley Snipes. But tomorrow, it is all like just stick to what works. I think one of the things that happened this morning is after Nvidia, the Nvidia news hit, it would have been so simple to just get distracted by this just happened to Nvidia. Throw away your plan and just move on and only trade the chip stocks. But then you miss out on AMC. Then you miss out on some of the Bed Bath and Beyond Meat. It was Beyond Meat, right?
Today?
Yeah.
Yeah, that 40
Bed Bath
break.
and Beyond. Like, you didn't want to get away from those low float runners or the squeeze names just because you had a huge, huge piece of news there in Nvidia. Yes, try to structure a trade if you can, but stick to what's working. And some of these runners have been fantastic. The big caps have been pretty solid. Although I'm not sure we're going to end up. I thought we had a chance to go green today. The NASDAQ looks like it's going to get close, but no cigar.
Yeah, Chef Joe, what's up? We did mention Olivia Newton-John, rest in peace. We're going to go Apple winner today. AMC speaks for itself, big winner there. Amazon could have been bigger. We gave you a little bit back in the end. Beyond Meat, obviously with the one and done right there is the big one.
We didn't do earnings.
Google, we are red on, and we shouldn't be. but I was fully transparent with that. It was too many shares and a big hit there on 120. I thought it could go. Palantir's a red stock for us today, obviously, as well, with a big order chasing it down right now. And then Tesla is the trade of the day, and my number one name is AMC, number two. Actually, I lied. Number three is Tesla. So we go AMC, Beyond Meat, and Tesla, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to go 6 and 1 today on 7 symbols. So for me, that was a pretty good day. The chicken dinner winner, although we had chicken for lunch. I know you and I had the salad. I'm wondering what's for dinner.
We got the same chicken that everyone else got.
Yeah, they just cut up on top of the salad. All right, without any further ado, we've hit the earnings a little bit today, Brendan, but let's throw it over and see that board one more time.
Yeah, I saw somebody was mentioning Coinbase. Coinbase aftermarket tomorrow, guys, so not on this board, but will be tomorrow. Here's today.
There we go. Yeah, so you get Clover. Actually, you get Groupon, Smile Direct, as we already mentioned. 3D Systems. Lemonade sometimes is worth it to trade only on earnings. That's why I'll be watching it tomorrow. Usually, pretty much ignore that stock. It's not the most liquid stock, even trading down at $25 as we stand, but it's made a nice run. It's up like 40% going into earnings, which should mean some volatility for Lemonade.
I was just looking at Lemonade. Yeah, good little chart there for that one. Look much like Upstart. We could probably check the short on that. It's probably very, very similar.
I got it up already. 30% short on Lemonade.
Yeah,
so it's another one of those.
You know, your refreshing drink got sour real quick.
Ooh.
That's not bad.
Like
but
that.
it's definitely, nice little upside move there for Lemonade. So we'll find out there as that trade could work tomorrow. I'm just excited for everything. I mean, we did get out of our Google. That's back down a little bit. We're out of absolutely everything. Let's just check back on Palantir. We talked about the tape reading. And like if... Okay, there it is right there. You see the size? Like that's following it down and not even changing. So I don't know if there's a big imbalance or anything on Palantir. Let's double check. Oh, yes, what a surprise. Look, the buy imbalance is exactly the same amount of shares that's on the ask. So that's, I mean, it's 800,000 there, 800,000 there. So the reason why that's there is this person's going to buy, and this person just wants to make sure that they get their order filled as well. So they're going to come in, they're going to meet each other head on in about 30 seconds, and the Palantir closing print is going to be at 82. So that's that. They're going to pair off each other. Look, 890 versus 890. It doesn't get any easier than that. And hit the like button if you haven't yet, because where else are you going to see this kind of stuff on a show where you can, figure this kind of stuff out? So thanks for that again today. If you can, hit the like button. I don't even know how many we're at, but we are getting ready for the countdown. And it's Wilt Chamberlain's kid on the countdown today. So we're going to get ready for that one as we go.
I like what you got going there. You'll see in a second.
Or is it not? It looks like Katrine was busy today. That's good. Nice to see her doing something. I'm just joking, Katrine. All right, here we go on the countdown. You see him in the background right now.
Put it on.
There it is. There he is. 2 and 1. It's Tony ringing the bell. So thank you, Tony, for ringing the bell. Did you make that, Katrine? That's pretty good if you made that. That's yeah. Oh, you didn't. Okay, the face mask there. So thank you, Tony, a.k.a. I mean, do I want to ruin who that was not Tony for people?
Well, you guys know who that was. Come on, whatever.
Oh,
you know
man,
exactly.
Anyways, that was pretty funny. I like that. Maybe I'll start the show tomorrow with that on my face, and then I'll just start talking about credit cards and things like that. But
I like the mask.
Yeah, he has a day off today. I don't know if he has the week off or what, but this is how dedicated Tony is. It's like he messages us early this morning at 7 o'clock or something, and says, "Guys, I'm off today. You need someone else to ring the bell."
He's not messing around.
We have 20 people behind us that could ring the bell, but thanks, Tony, for
he takes everything. Any responsibility Tony has, he takes it very seriously. That's really cool. That's a good trait to have, man. It's like, he doesn't do anything half-assed, that guy.
It ain't a bad trait, I'll tell you that much.
So the Palantir closed it. They're going to at you if it closed at 80, anything but 82, but there it is.
At me right now,
of course, no, I was joking around.
No, I know. There it is.
When that happens, it can't close anywhere else, right?
Unless that guy pulled or something, but there it is right there. It's a 2.39, yeah, right there. 2.39 million share print right there on Palantir to end the day.
Yo,
so
Upstart halted.
There it is at 982. Upstart already came out.
No, it halted.
What? They halted it?
Well, they halted it at the close?
Oh, shit. Yeah, it's never a good sign when you're halting before earnings.
You don't want that.
But let's just wait to see. Here's Upstart waiting for earnings, now in halted state. So, yeah, news pending. Why would you halt a stock news pending? Yeah, it's called earnings pending.
It's the close.
So, let's wait to see where that goes. But good luck
the close.
to everybody on Upstart. Brendan. How did we do?
There's actually two, guys. Novavax is also halted news pending ahead of earnings as well. So Upstart and NVAX also halted right now, news pending. Here we go, a bit of a choppy day. Choppy start, choppy end, 13 or 0.13 to the downside for the S&P, 0.2 for the Dow, the NASDAQ 0.4 as well, positive otherwise. But yeah, Upstart and, guys, NVAX halted news pending right now.
Yeah, well, let's see. I wish luck to somebody that bought shares late in those ones. We'll see what happens. I've never seen it before, and I just joked to Sean. I don't think this is the case, but it would be interesting after all the crazy volatility the last year we've seen, especially in earnings after market, if they don't start doing this sometimes in front of earnings, which would suck. I think you should just let it trade, but whatever. We'll check both of those ones out. It should be a wild day tomorrow based on this.
It's actually more advantageous to day traders because then now at least you're not caught in anything.
It's good for us.
Okay, Brendan?
NVAX revising their guidance. So that's the first part. They are still halted here, but revising their guidance. That was the first headline that came across there.
Bed Bath & Beyond 40% higher today. I see that they're revising guidance as well. So yeah, Upstart still that news pending. So that should be a lot of fun. Look, I don't know what else to say today. I mean, we pretty much made back almost everything there today, so it was a great little close. It was a great, and the close wasn't great, but we were able to make some decent trades there today. Like we said, we're going to have a really successful day going that 6-1. And I don't know, I was saying, Blink charging just comes out. So BLNK right now. Okay, not really any volume, so I apologize for that, but they just did come out. Apparently, beat on sales. Adjusted EPS, anyways, we'll see. There it is, down to 22, not doing much volume on that one. So, okay, let's wrap this up so you guys can go. The trade of the day's Tesla is going to be a good one for me anyways, breaking through 900. It was a one and done trade. That was a good one. I'm excited for tomorrow. Should be great. I can't, Brendan's going to be looking at this. I see Smile Direct is out as well, and a few different things popping off here. I'm going to wait for Upstart. I like the lemonade call as well. We'll see if that can make a move. But for Luca, for Prad, for Steph, for me, for Brendan, for Neil, for our whole team in the back there, as I look over there, get that Tony thing up here. There he is right there. There's Tony,
Can't see you
a.k.a.
anyways,
Fahad, in the background. I didn't realize he was doing that. I thought he was doing that at me because I was just looking over there and all I see is Tony's face. So, hey, we're here to have a good time every single day. So if you want good chat, good talk, good trading, a lot of fun, and hopefully some risk-taking as well, follow us every single day. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. For all of us here at Trader TV Live, join us tomorrow at 8:30 where we hit this all again. Have a great evening. Ciao.